Damn sexual tyrannosaurus. Just like me.
Welcome back to your favorite anime/ASMR convention. We do this every week. This is Access Vegas, where some people forego therapy and they come here and talk shit. So we're glad to have everybody here. We're going to go ahead and start off introducing our guest. He is from Orange County. He is a Manosphere content creator, Mr. Logan Duong. How you doing, Logan?
Good, bro.
Welcome, first time here on the show.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Welcome to Vegas.
Yep.
She
Turned
is
21.
Get some time off.
She is from Toronto, Canada. She's a model and a holistic nutritionist. It is Amanda Fuller. Amanda, welcome for the first time on our show. Warning. I'm sorry. Well, welcome. I meant to say welcome. Here we go.
Yeah.
She is from Cambridge, England. She runs a travel agency, and she was recently dragged back into OnlyFans. It is Cordelia Rose.
Kicking and screaming.
There she is. All right. And listen, and our next guest, she's from Calgary, Alberta, Canada. She's just Zoe. She doesn't do anything. She's just Zoe.
That's
Just
all
me.
she
Just
does.
Zoe.
Just doesn't do anything. She's just
No,
Zoe.
just Zoe.
That's it. Just dates a male stripper and does nothing.
Yeah, that's me.
That's how it works.
That's a full-time job.
Not very complicated.
That is a full-time job,
It is.
honestly.
All right, so just so you know, if you guys want to check my sleep score, I should be dead at this point.
Yes, you should.
I went 10 days, so we did 6 days in New York for the Landmark conference, and then we did 4 days in Miami for where we did 6 podcasts, and then we did the Babes in Toyland White Party, and then came back and immediately went to EDC. You went there with us, and then I've been doing nothing but nonstop podcasts since. So I've slept probably 10 hours in the last 2 weeks, and this is great. So I'm kind of all fuzzy and delirious, everything. You people are all shapes to me right now. So let's go ahead and get to this. Just coming up in a little bit, next week we got a white party in. So we won't have an Access Vegas next week because we're doing a white party in Los Angeles. If you guys are interested in coming to that, let me know. We have a bikini competition I'm hosting in San Diego on September 9th. If you guys are interested in that, let me know. And then on the 13th is going to be Babes in Toyland Support the Troops, where we'll be raising money for the Douglas J. Green Memorial Fund. This is for troops overseas. We're going to be sending them
I
care
will be
packages.
at that one for sure.
Beautiful. Awesome. Is there anything, announcements that you have?
Yeah, I would just want to let everybody know I am now on Minect, Minnect. It is an app courtesy. I think they're partnering with Valuetainment.
Yes.
And I was made aware of this by Adam Sosnick after we did our show.
Yes.
And so what it is it's an app if you want to text me or if you want a video chat or you just want one question. It's almost like having the ability to give somebody a super chat like at any time of
Yes.
day, right? So if you go to Minect, I think it's app.minect.com, I believe it is. So then you can download the app. I think it's for iPhone and for Android. And so if you want to just do one text, if you have just one thing you want to ask, or if you have a series of questions, you want a video response, you want a vocal response, you want just like counseling in general, go to Minect. You can look me up. Just look for Rolla Tomasi on there. I'm on there right now. I think you're probably going to get on there soon.
I
too.
definitely will. I want to do this one.
Which
The
one?
The Lizzo one.
Oh God!
All right, ladies,
I
gentlemen.
thought you would want to do this.
All right, so here we go. We're going to look up in there. This is how the show works. We're going to react to a video. We're going to get everybody's
Oh, boy.
Q&A.
Here
Let's
we
just
go.
get right into it. Let's do it.
All right, so the question of the
Let's
day
back up,
is,
guys.
do you think Lizzo is beautiful?
Do you want to put this back?
Yeah, start from the beginning.
All right, so the question of the day is, do you think Lizzo is beautiful?
I mean, yeah. Lizzo is hot. I give her a 10 out of 10.
Do you think Lizzo is beautiful?
Yeah. Lizzo? Yeah.
Do you think Lizzo is beautiful?
100%. She's gorgeous. Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Do you think Lizzo is beautiful?
Yes, I think Lizzo is beautiful. Yeah, Lizzo cute. The fuck? She cute.
Okay, that's valid. That's valid. Okay, so we're here with
Molly.
What just
Molly,
happened,
has
guys?
anyone ever told you that you look like Lizzo?
Hey, guys, what just happened? We just lost
You look
everything.
Like Lizzo.
You ever got...
Can we back up? Let's go ahead and stop the video.
I'll then back it up.
Okay, so we just missed the best part. Can we go back up just a little bit?
Yeah, back.
All right.
I'll put it back
0
here.
to 100.
All right, let's try it again.
Ready?
Okay, that's valid. That's valid. Okay, so we're here with
Molly.
Molly. Has anyone ever told you that you look like Lizzo?
What?
You look like Lizzo.
You ever got...
What? I thought it was a compliment.
All right. Does anybody have any initial thoughts when you see that?
Well, I mean, he did research.
Oh, what do you mean? Yeah. Anybody else?
At least he knew who she was.
Yeah. So here's the thing. It's like this is part of the lunacy. Like when you ask women if Lizzo is attractive, they're going to tell you yes because they need to be inclusive. But if you tell a woman she looks like Lizzo, they slap you.
It's an insult.
It's an insult. But it's not. It's because we don't live in objective reality. We live in a subjective reality where it's like we need things to feel a certain way instead of dealing with the way they are. So, for instance, there are many aspects of female attractiveness and male attractiveness that are not subjective. They are objective. Hip to waist ratio, facial symmetry, clear skin, signs of youth. These things, like universally, if we were to survey men, billions of men, that they would agree that these are the things that they like. But in order to say that there are objective things that men find attractive, then you have to say being morbidly overweight is not attractive. And in doing so, then you would say Lizzo seems like a great person, probably a great musical artist, but she is not attractive. And so for you to say that is just so, I don't know, politically incorrect, antithetical to egalitarianism. I don't know what it is, but like it's not just that. It's also what are you promoting? The level of, for those of you who are old enough to remember this, anybody over the age of 40, we were not this fucking obese 30 years ago. I do not understand how things have gotten so out of whack. Just walking around, by the way, walking around New York, I didn't see that much obesity because people have to walk a lot. But everywhere else I went, like in the airport here in Las Vegas, just the level of obesity is outrageous. And I know you guys think I'm exaggerating, but if you could just look at videos of people going to spring break in like 1995 on like MTV, no one was obese. And now it's just, we've just got to the point where the food that we eat is just destroying us. So now, instead of sending a message that might help people, I'm not saying it's a good message or a bad message, but it might help people, which is like, you probably should eat better. We're told instead that Lizzo is beautiful.
Yeah, I was going to say and by the way, this stuff, when these guys are doing these man on the street questions and stuff, that question was straight off of Fresh and Fit because they use that question like several. That's where this is originated from, with the same response. Yeah, I think that what's interesting is like when they ask the girls, and they did this on Fresh and Fit, they'd ask the girls, it would say, you know, do you think Lizzo is beautiful? Yada yada. They would have to go because it's correct for them to say that. It sounds, especially if one of their friends says, "Oh yeah," and then the next one goes, "Well, yeah, of course. I can't believe you wouldn't even think she's not beautiful." Blah blah blah, and then they say, "Well, what if I told you you look like Lizzo?"
Yeah.
Right? Then suddenly you're calling somebody. It's like synonymous with calling somebody fat.
Yes, and it's like they can't see the dissonance. The funny thing is, he asked a separate woman. She said, "Do you look like Lizzo?" And instead, he should have just asked the girls he was already saying that look like that is Lizzo's beautiful. It's that's interesting because you look like Lizzo, to just see how that they would accept it as an insult because the dissonance doesn't seem to like exist in their mind. They just don't seem to grasp it. Amanda, what do you think about this?
I think the women were trying to be politically correct. And I think that there are so many beautiful aspects in her personality and the way that she embodies herself. And I think that that's very powerful. However, in society, we are visual creatures. And that's just part of our humanness. So, I mean, aesthetically, it doesn't really fit the mold of beauty. And there's certain scales to like the guidelines of like the Fibonacci code, etc.
Yeah. So the thing is, it's those numbers come from a place, and that place comes from our evolution. Basically, if we were to look at what is the hip to waist ratio, and I know this was a criticism in that video that came out the other day, but it is true. If if you were to survey thousands of men and say what hip to waist ratio do you prefer, it's between 0.68 to 0.72. And if you look at women who are the most fertile, guess what the hip to waist ratio is? Anybody want to guess? It's 0.68 to 0.72. And if you were to take men who were blind and had never seen a woman in their life and ask them to haptically create with their hands the shape of a woman that they would like,
hourglass,
it ends up being 0.68 to 0.72. Blind men. So, oh no, these are Western beauty standards. These are standards they're forced upon. No, it's genetics. It's evolution, and it's very offensive to a lot of people. And the reason why you know it's offensive, again, that video that just came out the other day, she has to put on funny glasses and make funny noises in order to try to get her point across, because the reality of the situation is that evolution has a lot to do with what we're doing now, with why we are the way we are. Now, it's not everything. It's not everything, but the part of evolution that doesn't have to do with why we are the way we are, that part was also shaped by evolution. Meaning our society, the society that we live in, well, guys, we don't have like huge blaring ass lights in here, or it doesn't smell like sulfur in here. Like we've adapted. Look at this seat I'm wearing that's got lumbar support. My car's got lumbar support. Like this thing is not like strangling my ears. Like we've built a society that was based on like the human body, right? What makes us comfortable. And so that's where a lot of those things come from. But that whole idea is offensive to a lot of people.
Can we get my screen on real quick? There you go. I wanted to point this one out. I don't think I've ever put this on screen yet. This is 500 women selected their actual and ideal body size from a 12-point visual scale. Now you can see the various shapes right there. Say they also chose the body shape that most closely matched their own from apple to hourglass. Now the average. This is according to CDC and Census Bureau like data. Okay, so this is not like this is not cherry pick shit here. So we've got weight. The average weight of a woman in the United States is 172 pounds.
Hell no.
Their average ideal is 124. Their BMI is 29.5. Now, people kept saying, man, you need to round that up to 30 because of the height, but okay. And then you can see that the average ideal is 21.3. Average self-confidence out of 10, 6.1 versus 6.9. And then you've got percentage of men who think this body is visually ideal is 9%. And then the average ideal, of course, is 36. And then percentage of women with this body who want to lose weight, 91% of them do. Something to sort of keep in mind during this whole thing. I like what you said really quickly there. I think because you separated values, okay? And this is something that we do in the manosphere. I've done for quite some time right now. What happens when we talk about sexual market value versus like personal worth, right? So when we start talking about a woman's value or like a high value man or high value woman or something like that, I think we tend to conflate that with, oh, does that guy look like a male stripper? That's a high value man. Okay, well, there's a lot of qualifiers that go along with that. But when you say a woman is a 10 or she's a 7 or she's a 6 or whatever else it is, and you're trying to quantify what the sexual market value of that woman is, I don't think enough people really realize that we're not talking about like you're a bad person, right? I mean, Mother Teresa was a very good person. She has a lot of personal value, but she's probably not going to be that high on the sexual market value scale. So we're separating those two. And I think that even the women that were interviewed on this clip here have a really tough time separating sort of their intrinsic inherent worth as a human being, as a person, versus whatever their sexual market value might be. And in this case, we can see that, what is it? I think it's like 75% of the U.S. population is either obese or overweight right now.
So this is where the major difference, and I want to hear what you guys have to say, especially you as a nutritionist. I want to hear what you have to say. What happens is, as a man, if you play quarterback for a football team or if you're a cardiologist, the things that make you professionally viable also make you sexually attractive to the opposite sex. If you're a cardiologist and you're a female, the things that make you sexually viable are not the same as the things that make you sexually attractive to the opposite sex. And one of the difficulties that happens is the female cardiologist, she's going to be looking for men to date that are in her same tax bracket and her same education level. But the problem is those men are looking back at the female cardiologist, but they're also looking back at the younger women who are not cardiologists, who don't have a degree and are just hot. And so there's this competition problem that ends up happening. And so that's where the difference comes. And so if there was a female cardiologist and she saved one of my family members' life, she would have incredible value to the world, but it wouldn't make me want to date her more. Does that make sense?
It does, and it's actually a trend at the moment for guys to go for younger women, and I think that's it's giving me kind of grooming vibes. Like you can like morph the girls and like to grow up however you want, and I actually find that not a good thing. I think it's a bad thing. Like, because eventually then they're going to find someone who's happy with them exploring themselves and becoming who they are meant to be, as opposed to who have they been morphed into by a
what do you mean exploring
an
themselves?
Older man, for instance.
Got it. What do you mean exploring
Well,
themselves?
it's like, for instance, you'll know about like soul searching or whatever you think, finding who you are as a person. We start to become who we surround ourselves with. So how is someone meant to know that if they are literally confined to just knowing what they're taught or like morphed into,
Right.
like groomed into? Yeah.
Well, I mean, then
you can literally have like an older guy date a younger woman, tell them how to dress, what to do their hair.
What if the older guy does not tell the younger woman how to dress? And what if we're talking about two people who are around the same age where the man is just as controlling? Like this is a regular like Quaker or Islamic wedding.
They still morph. We still morph into like our partners,
For sure.
right? Like little
Absolutely.
traits we pick up even when we've left.
So is it also possible for a woman to have toxic traits and to also pass those things along and beat
women can be horrible
and beat the men down?
Women can be horrible, bro. Like, sorry, I'm kidding. No, they can. Like, I have, I've dated some incredible guys. I've also dated a really, really bad one. But, I know for a fact how horrible women can be. We can be so malicious. Hopefully, I'm not saying that about myself. Just saying. hint, okay? But no, I've come across some really, really horrible women, and also some guy friends who have been broken by women. And it's like we've constantly got this battle of the sexes going on, whilst there's so much going on around us. It's like this.
You do understand why older guys are attracted to younger girls?
Of course, of course. But then I also think it's like you can't be angry with them when they want to go and do their own thing eventually, And I think that's when kind of abuse comes into it, and controlling issues.
See, I just recently got into it with I forget who it was. I know. This was Mac and Murphy. Mac and Murphy came at me, and I on my last show, I kind of cleared the air. I like Mac, and just for sake of argument, I just want to make sure that this is not a flame bait or anything like that. But Mackin had done some video, and he had tried to explain to me like what I meant about sexual market value from like way back in the day from my first book. Right? Yeah. And so I in that book I created a graph, which is now this infamous graph that's been going on for like almost 15 years now. But I peg women's like peak sexual market value years at about 23 years old, right? So that's when they top out. So it burns hot and fast, and then it drops off a cliff after that. Men tend to be more gradual. So I look at men's sexual market value peak at right around 36 or 7 years old. Okay. Because that's usually when a guy has already got his business together. He's made partner in the law firm. It takes longer for a man to get to the point where he has maximized his potential for his sexual market value, right? Again, sexual market value. I'm not saying he has to, I'm not talking about the physique side, but there are more things that make a man attractive to a woman than for women. Women's usually just it's physique, and it's fertility, and it's youth and beauty, right? More or less, and availability. Sure. This once you pass the boner test, everything else is just icing on the cake. Okay. So for guys have to have more. We have to have a burden of performance, as I've said in all my books. And so when you get to 30, you get to 36, you get to 38. It's around that time that women expect men to have achieved those things that make them maximally attractive. And so therefore, when people come at me, and this is more to your point here, when people come at me and they say, well, I don't see as many 23-year-old women going after 38-year-old guys, I go, that's not what that means. Those 2 points are mutually exclusive. Okay. So the guy who is at 36, 38, of course, I'm not saying the ideal situation would be for the 38-year-old and 23-year-old to get together. Hey, if you want to, more power to you. But the thing is I'm not saying that a 23-year-old woman should, and I never use the word should necessarily be attracted to a guy who's 38. But if she's looking for a guy who's anywhere between, 3 to 7 years older, that's the statistic, right? Sure. 3 to 7 years older than herself. The reason why she's looking for a guy who's slightly to 7 years older is because there's something intrinsic to the female psyche that says for a guy to actually be legit, for him to have the things that make him maximally attractive, he's got to be older than me. I got to know that he's going to make partner in the law firm. He's got to gone through his education. He's got to be a good judge of character. He's got to be funny. He's got to love his mom. He's got to like puppy dogs. Wants to have kids in the future. Has to be hot. Still has to have a 6-pack or a 4-pack, depending on what age he happens to be. He's got to have some status. He's got to have a lot of other qualifiers that go with him. So he's the complete package. You don't get that until you get to be about 36. You're not hitting your stride as a man until you get into your mid-30s. That's what I was just trying to say. So what I'm saying is, like, when guys get to that point and they're not married and they're unencumbered by all of these responsibilities that they would have necessarily taken on if they got married at, like, say 30 or something like that, they get to that point, now they can be more sexually selective because if assuming they've maximized their potential, those guys have much more sexual selectivity than guys who would be like, say, 26 years old, because they're not made men at that point.
Well, when you're that age, you tend to go for older guys anyway. I'm sure you both have as well. Like it's not even daddy
faster.
issues. Right? They mature faster. Everyone your age, in your 20s, they're so immature. So you tend to go for slightly older men because they're calm.
And I think a lot of it does come down to
wise.
like security. Like women want to feel safe.
Yeah.
And not enough men are providing that for us.
Exactly.
So especially in the same age group. So
How old is your boyfriend?
He's 30.
Older than you?
He's 30 and I'm 25, so it's only a 5-year gap.
There it
but
is.
My ex before that.
God,
is
he's
like,
grooming you. Jesus.
No, my ex.
What kind of grooming is this? 5 years.
She's of age, Michael says.
Wait. And what does your boyfriend do for a living?
He's a stripper.
She didn't say.
No. He would like me to clarify because I said last
Yeah.
time that he was a stripper. He is a performer that does chip and
Male
She didn't.
exotic
She didn't.
dancer.
She didn't go. She didn't go. He's a stripper. She goes. He's a stripper. That's great.
Okay, no, but my ex was like 40 now.
Oh, okay.
So like that's so much worse.
That's crazy. It's super worse.
But it's actually
Does anybody
hilarious.
realize that I'm just sitting here? Does anybody? Nobody even cares that I'm just sitting right
You
here.
literally look
I'm so
exactly
sorry.
the same. You look exactly the same.
Oh, I do.
I've known
Yeah.
you for
So
like
we
10
met
years.
10 years ago, and she says I look exactly the same.
You
Yeah.
literally look like exactly the same.
So the point I was going to make is when Cindy Messon and David Buss wrote the book called Why Women Have Sex, one of the things that they talk about in the beginning of the book is, why didn't you guys write a book called Why Men Have Sex? And Dr. Buss stated, because it would have been a pamphlet. It would have been a very short book. Why men have sex. But why do women have sex? And at the end of the book, they come up with 237 reasons why women have sex. So that's a good thing and a bad thing for men. So for men, it's a good thing because, man, if you're short or if you're poor or if you're overweight, you got a bunch of different ways, a bunch of different avenues that you can generate attraction. It's bad because the way women generally pick men is that there's a 15% of men up at the top that get a lot of attraction from women. And then there's a bottom third of men that don't get to participate in short-term dating at all. Yeah, they don't. And so
like
because
those ones.
yeah, but you're saying that, but like you don't like that. You don't like that. You don't. They
They're invisible to you.
Oh,
They're
no,
invisible.
they're not.
Wait, no. As Home Math would say, they're not people.
They're not people.
Oh, no.
Home calls them not
not
people.
Little gremlins.
All right, beautiful.
That is so
beautiful.
brutal. I see that.
Savage mode.
He calls them not people.
But, you know, I hate to be the one to correct you on this too, because I've seen these clips right now where you're explaining like the 80-20 rule.
Sure.
Basically what it is. And this is David Buss. Everybody drink. Okay,
Yeah.
I said it first. When you're giving that stat, you're usually saying like 80% of women or 80% of men are deemed unattractive.
Yes.
That doesn't necessarily mean that the 20% are attractive. It just means they're not unattractive.
No. Well, yeah, what I'm saying, so this is the difference. Where a lot of guys get this wrong is they believe that like 20% of men are sleeping with 80% of women. That's not what's going on.
Absolutely not true.
What's happening is there is a 20% of men that are getting attraction from 80% of women. They're not sleeping with all of them. And then there's a good number of men. Mac and Murphy said it was about a third. Depending on what you look like, it could be 28%, 18%. There's this like bottom quartile of men that have no chance in short-term dating unless they do something drastic in order to, or like do something like get in really good shape or join Men of Action, something like that, and then they can get out of that group. And then there's my whole contention is that top 15% of men that get the most attraction, the top 20% of men, it's never been easier to get into that group. It really hasn't. I mean, but you can go get professional photos done. You can get in shape. You can dress better. You can start a scalable business. There's a bunch of you can build a brand online. You can start a podcast. You can start doing man on the street videos. There's a million things you can do. You can become a famous plastic surgeon. You can become a guitarist. There's a million different ways that guys can get into that top 15%. Yes.
They literally have all the same Instagrams now.
What do you mean?
Everyone's like morphing into the same people. Everyone's got like 10 million followers. They're standing outside the same car or the same villa with loads of money.
Yeah, that's how we do it. We all take pictures.
All trying to manage OnlyFans. I'm like, we're listening.
God, dude, those guys. That's a different
They're
group.
the worst ones.
So if you
They
ever
just want free content.
Yeah, you have the guy like whenever I'll host a photo shoot, and there's the girl's always like, "Hey, can I bring my manager?" And it's like, let me guess, it's your manager / NFT supplier / fucking used car salesman / music producer / drug dealer / boyfriend / OF partner / OF manager. Is it that guy? guys slash social media managers. That is like,
that's exactly.
Yeah, she's like, that's exactly right. And he's got a Netflix special coming out next week.
Yeah. And also, they're the ones who message as well. Years ago, I was actually one of the first girls invited to OnlyFans. Yeah, it was London based. And I had a message from this guy, and he's like, "You're such a hoe, blah 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 blah." And you scroll down, "Please, can I manage you?" And you're like, "What?"
Like that's their game.
Yeah, I think everyone said no.
Let me break down her self-esteem and then tell her I can bring her back up.
Yeah. And then he's like, I think no one wanted him to manage him, so he started his own AI girl. So I'm like, now you just want to, and it was using my eyes.
And probably making more money than he's ever made in his life.
Yeah.
Can we talk about the weird situation here? If I were to make AI images of you, I have to pay you royalties. If I were to make AI images of you, I have to pay you royalties. And if I were to make AI images of you, I have to pay you royalties. If I were to make a conglomeration of your 3 faces, I don't have to pay shit to anyone.
That's what they do. They merge.
Isn't that crazy? Because now it's this is, you guys remember that there was a writer's strike recently in Hollywood. Do you remember that? The reason one of the main reasons behind the writer's strike was because there were guys that were like, hey, we're just going to replace these writers with AI. With ChatGPT, and the writers were like, no, if you do that, we're going to strike. That's part of what the strike was about, is that artificial intelligence is going to really, really disrupt this. There was something, we had Jasmine Jafar on last week, and one of the things I discussed with her 2 weeks ago, I discussed with her was 2 concepts. One is the idea of the AI influencer replacing the actual real influencer, which doesn't seem realistic now, but it's just getting closer and closer and closer. And I think it's going to be very difficult. You guys know, like in 2019, making money on OF was way easier than it is now, and it's going to get progressively harder as creepy dudes start creating AI chatbots in order to talk to people. That's the first thing. And the second thing, here's the big one. Ready? Hold on to your dicks, guys. Ready? These girls, these guys are subscribing to women and writing them.
Oh yeah.
And the women are writing back, except it's not women writing back. It's it's Filipino guys that are sitting there, account managers who are writing back. Yeah. Now, if you guys want to go ahead and check federal law, that constitutes fraud. That is an FTC civil violation, or actually, it's a criminal violation. And I'm waiting for a bunch of these. Guys on OF to file a class action lawsuit. I think something like that might happen in the future because a lot of these girls have agencies where they're like, again, I have a coaching program. If I say, hey, sign up for my coaching program, and you come on the call and it's an AI influencer, you can sue me for fraud. Make sense?
We tried to use this agency before, and they use these random guys from a different country. And I don't go fully nude. Well, at that time, I didn't go fully nude. Yeah. And they sent a random picture of a vagina in the inbox, and I remember seeing it like horrified. I'm like, where did you get this picture of a vagina? Like, where did you get this picture? Like, who's gonna sue me now? And they're like, yes, baby. Yes. I'm like, no, stop. Oh my goodness.
Was the vagina like crazy looking? I was at least proud to claim it.
I was like, it's like
digital.
That's what I would have been worried about. Like, if it looked crazy, it's like, that's not mine.
No, it was pretty. It was pretty.
I'm not claiming this vagina.
Yeah, I will claim that vagina. It was a pretty one.
God, the age of random vaginas. I have a perfect segue for this one.
Let's do it.
Okay, so we were just talking about the 80-20 rule.
Okay,
right? There's the guys who fuck. There's the guys who don't fuck, and then there's the invisible guys.
The invisible guys.
All right. So here we go.
When it comes to men,
can we get the screen up, guys?
Place guys into 3 categories.
Oh, hold on, let me push it back a little bit. No. This. By the way, I use this on my show. Yeah. And I had a whole section on this.
When it comes to men, us women place guys into 3 categories. The first category is the guy that we meet and we instantly just want. The sexual chemistry is high. We don't care what they do or how much they make. They are getting it. The second type is the guy that, he's okay, he's maybe not that good looking, but he's willing to spend money. He's going to pay our bills, he's going to buy us nice things, he's going to take us on all the dinner dates. But is he the one? No. Is sexual chemistry high? Or mid, probably. And then there's the third guy. The third guy doesn't have a shot in hell. There is nothing that he can do. There is no amount of money that he can make that would make us want him. He is a no right off the bat. Am I lying or am I telling the truth?
With a wink.
So I have like 10 categories.
Good.
Let's hear it. No, there's a long list.
What do you think, Amanda, of that?
I think it's real. Like,
yeah.
Just 3.
Yeah,
There's more than 3, right?
There's for sure more than 3. But I mean, there is that initial attraction where it's like, okay, like the primal, the primal humanness of you is really coming out. And then there's people that fill certain spots in your life, right? And it's like, okay, so like you're good for this and you're good for this.
And they're not necessarily all in the same guy.
Not in the same category. Men do it too. We just do it now. Yeah. It's just part of our life because now I think society is now conditioned to dating for entertainment and not connection.
Interesting.
100%.
Do you understand how if you're a guy and you're a guy who's dating you and you're like, well, you know, you fill this one role, but before there was another guy who I immediately just had extreme chemistry with and it's not you, how that would bother the guy that maybe you choose to be a partner with?
Well, put in a better performance.
Is that it?
Sorry.
No, I can see how that would.
Do you understand? Like, so the issue is, I don't think there's any problem with a woman who makes a man wait for sex. I think there's a problem, though, when a woman makes a certain guy wait for sex and another guy doesn't have to wait. Do you understand?
Absolutely.
And then later on, he finds out, he's like, you made me wait 2 months, but this other guy, you had sex with him, and now you guys are just friends? Get the fuck out of here. Do you understand what I'm saying?
But I've done that before, and like if I genuinely like a guy, I'm going to make him wait.
Really?
100%.
Yeah.
Let me ask you
and then if I just need you for
sex, then then you're not going to make him wait.
No,
it's really funny how this is backward. Are you the same way, Zoe?
Because then it's for my own
I will
benefit.
not have sex with somebody like straight off the cuff. Like I need to. If there's no sexual chemistry, like what the fuck are we doing here?
So you want to know quicker. So this is what this is.
Faster.
This is the opposite.
I'm not saying like
we'll talk about emotional shit later.
This is but I've seen both of these. I've heard a woman say, "If I like you, I'm going to make you wait," and I've heard another woman say, "If I like you, I want to have sex quickly to figure out whether or not you're bad in bed." I've heard both things. This is why, like, dating women, anything you guys tell me, I promise you, I will find a woman who says the opposite is true. She's like, I can't believe this guy tried to have sex with me doggy style. It was disgusting. And another woman's like, doggy style is my favorite thing in the world. Like, I've seen absolutely anything you can imagine. The one girl's like, oh, I don't like guys that are too ripped, and another girl's like, I like guys who are like fucking mountains. It's like, it's just so crazy. I think this is
here. I like guys that are ripped.
Yeah, but
I don't. I like skinny string being like 6 foot.
Then why don't you date a magic? Why don't you date a Magic Mike guy instead of a?
They're more jacked.
No, the Magic Mike guys are less jacked than the Chippendales guys.
God,
the Chippendale guy,
no.
The Magic Mike guys look like string beans. Yeah. Anyway, no, I just think it's really interesting. But I think that initially is where the problem lies. It's that, like, when a guy is like, hey, I've chosen to settle down with this girl, and then finds out that some other guy had sex with her off the jump. From your standpoint, your internal logic is saying, well, yeah, I made you wait because I like you more. But from his standpoint,
we're emotional creatures.
Correct. But from his standpoint, it's like, no, you didn't make him wait because you like him more. Because that's the way he's going to see it, and that's where guys get real. And by the way,
because men are analytical.
Yeah. Well, I mean, analytical, but we are also validated by sexual access. We're validated by the sex that women give us, or a better way to describe it is we are unvalidated by the sex we don't get, or the sex we have to wait for when someone else didn't have to wait. Does that make sense?
I think we're validated by the enthusiasm that a woman has to have sex with you in the
first place.
Like what you're saying before, it has to be raw. Like it has to be that animal connection before anything else. Before emotion, before any kind of relationship. It's like I have to want to fuck that guy, right? That's genuine desire. That's what I'm saying. Is like that happens when that happens first. That's when that's what's going to lead to a much more healthier relationship in the end. If that woman wants you and has a genuine desire to like just rip your clothes off and fuck you to glory, right? That from that point on, once that's established, then everything else that comes after that is going to be that much more either legit or authentic after that.
All right, so let me ask the three of you: has there ever been a situation where you did not feel that chemistry initially, but then ended up liking the guy anyway?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can you describe like what was that situation like? Initially, you felt what, and then what happened?
Initially, I really didn't feel anything, and then you get to know somebody, and the way that they treat you or whatever, their personality starts to come through, and you're like, oh, wait a second. I'm seeing something that maybe I didn't see initially, but then it turns into like a 5-year relationship.
So the reason why I like this is because this is one of the key tenets that I try to describe in my course is the ability to manufacture attraction. Men can manufacture attraction. Women, it's much more difficult for them to do this, but men can. When you don't understand you can manufacture attraction, that's why guys go direct, because those guys don't want to try to manufacture attraction. And if you're really good looking and you have a Lamborghini, you don't have to manufacture attraction. You already have it. So you don't have to try as hard, so you can go direct. Has this ever happened to you, where there was a guy you just you didn't have any feelings for him, and you got to know him?
100%. And also it depends on what you're looking for. Like I've dated a guy who got his legs blown up. You know, he had like his hips replaced. They had to push him around in a wheelchair, clean him, and so when you're looking for someone, you have to keep in mind that anything could happen to that person. And you're not sexually attracted, you're just going to leave. I think that's such a selfish way to look at when you're trying to invest in a person. Initially it was the same thing. That's what goes through my head. It's like, do I like this person? What's their energy like? Because energy I think is the highest currency, as opposed to looks nowadays. Anyone can be good looking, anyone can be rich, anyone can be good looking, anyone can be famous in this day and age. Energy is speaks everything.
So he's like, fuck that. They got to be hot as shit. I don't care about it.
I'm leaving Stumpy at the hospital.
Well, I mean, the opposite can occur too, where a girl finds a guy attractive and then he does some simp shit, and it turns her off.
It's funny. That's more actually, Logan. That's way more likely.
Yeah.
Guys, the thing you have to understand is that most women don't like most men.
Yep.
It's hard for a lot of people to hear, but it's just true. On average, women find women find in a what's it called, unfamiliar environment. Women will say a man who's an 8. Like when I say an 8, meaning like if we stratified the number of right swipes this guy gets on a dating app, if a man who's an 8, she will call him a 5. And a man who's a 7, she will call him a 4 or a 3. And a man who's a 9, she'll call that guy a 7. Like, that's how women see men in a short-term dating context. Most of the time, men right swipe 55% of the time on dating apps. Women right swipe 5% of the time on dating apps. Women are just not as interested in men as the other way around. And so because of that, that's why you get into these situations like what you're talking about before. But when you got to know him, what are we doing? We're going from an unfamiliar environment to a familiar environment. And now the guy who normally would not have had a chance against Brock the bartender or Steve the male stripper, now this guy has a chance now. Now Alex the accountant has a chance with you because you got to see how he treats you or any of the other things. Maybe he's funny. Maybe he's got cool alignments. Maybe he's got hobbies that you find interesting or attractive. Right? But the idea...
You establish a connection.
Correct.
And then that usually turns into a relationship.
Sure. But here's the difference. Me as a man, I can't look at a woman and be not physically attracted to her and then find out that she collects Autobots and then all of a sudden my penis gets hard. It doesn't work like that. You guys understand? It's like, oh, really? That's amazing. You're a Cowboys fan too? My penis does not get hard. It doesn't matter. There's nothing you can do if I'm not physically attracted. So there's a difference. One of the things we talk about on the show is like, I don't want to be offensive. I don't want to deliberately be offensive. I know I'm offensive, but I don't want to deliberately be offensive. But I do want to discuss innate sex differences between the genders because that's one of the things that is trying to be curtailed. When you say things like a trans woman is a biological woman, which isn't true, what you're doing is trying to say we're all the same, and we're not all the same. That's the thing. And it's okay that we're not all the same. Yeah. It's wonderful that we're not all the same. It's terrific. I would not like Delia as much if she had as much testosterone as I did. She would be intolerable. She'd be fucking
it is getting a little bit more blended now.
It is.
Of course. No. Right. But well, here's the thing. Society, this is a great point. Society is trying to make us more blended. Yeah. But as we do that, see, I don't think of things in good or bad. I think of things that they work or they don't work. And the reality is trying to make everyone equal actually in the end doesn't work.
Yeah, it's not natural.
Well, forget about it. I mean, natural is part of it. Not being natural makes something inefficient, but there's certain things that just simply don't work. That some things work and some things don't work. What were you saying?
Yeah, well, guys and girls being the same or having the same masculine and feminine energy, because a lot of girls are now balanced where they have a lot of masculine energy. Now guys and girls, they're not attracted to each other, and they need super fucking masculine dudes to pull them out of that masculine energy.
But do you understand the problem? Like, so what you're saying, while you and I know it to be true, the idea, if you've seen this, what was the article? I don't know if you can find it, where progressive liberal women were looking to date conservative men because all the liberal men that they had to choose from were so non-masculine that it turned them off.
Yeah.
Because what they wanted to believe is that they lived in a world where men and women were the same and they could still be sexually attracted to men that were just as feminine as them. And then in reality, Charles Darwin knocks on the door and it's like, hey, natural selection, bitch. Like in reality, men in their masculine, on average, in general, are more attractive, and women who are feminine, on average, are more attractive to the opposite sex in a heterosexual relationship. That's the way it works. And here's the funny thing about the polarities. When you look at gay and lesbian relationships, you also find a masculine and feminine polarity, because the polarity is what makes it work. So you can find a top and a bottom with women or with men, and then what is it with women? It's a oh God, I can't remember. It's a bear. I forgot what the terms are. But
stud.
Yeah, stud and a butch or whatever. I can't remember what it is.
The pillow princess?
Yeah, the pillow princess. Whatever it is. No, lesbian would not be a pillow princess. You're a pillow princess? Yeah. So you guys, for those of you who don't know what a pillow princess is, that means you have a threesome and one girl would go down on her, but she wouldn't go down on the other girl. That's what a pillow princess is. That's what it means. That means you're 49% gay. If you're over 51% gay, you would go down on another woman. That's how it's determined. That's actually the scientific way to determine pillow princess.
Well, we know one girl who would be perfect to ask about the liberal going for the conservative masculine guy.
Who? Farrah, of course. Yeah, for sure.
Personal experience with that. Hey, can I get a screen grab here real quick? So this is the classic hypergamy shot here. Okay, everybody knows the chart on the everybody, my audience anyways, knows the chart on the right hand side there, which is, if you got, this is from 1 to 10. If you got women who are like down to 1, is always going to be looking for a guy who's an 8 or above. And again, if you follow Math, this is basically where he's pulling all of his illustrations from. But I don't want to focus on that today, because I think we probably have established that pretty well with that last video. What I want Mike to look at here is on the left hand side here, which is the assortative mating strategy here.
Yes.
And this is the one that has now, everybody wants to say that this is really the way things go. Now, I wanted to point something else out here, because we were just talking about like genuine desire and just this, this feral lust and for monkey sex kind of thing, right? And I think what needs to be really made a distinction here is that when you're looking at who is pairing off with who and who is marrying who, whether it's socioeconomic status or who's good looking and who's not good looking and all this other stuff, it would be in a perfect world, ones would get with ones and twos would get with twos and threes would get with threes. And that's simply not the fucking way that we see it, especially not after the advent of hormonal birth control and the sexual revolution. And I'm sure in the 20th century, this probably played out very well when women were dependent on men. Why? Because men who didn't have the ability to generate that genuine desire, they could make up for it and compensate for it with value added. So if they had a really great job, or they came from a really good family, or they're well educated, those kinds of things. Because you had that. Now it's a different game. And so like I said, with the advent of hormonal birth control, and women can pick and choose longer. That's why the average age of first marriage is 30 years old. That's why we see what's really true, which is the hypergamy side of everything here. And so just to put a period on the end of this, the thing that I'm seeing right now is people keep saying, well, it's all about assortative mating and everything else.
Yeah.
Okay, that's who people line up with. Maybe a 5 gets with a 5 and they marry each other, and that seems like the most logical situation. It's not about who's pairing with who, it's who wants to fuck who.
Yes, okay, so you're bringing my point
who has the desire to get with it. Because I will tell you right now, when Aquaman came out, your grandmother didn't go see that fucking movie because she's a big fan of the DC comic book character Aquaman. She went to go see it because Jason fucking Momoa was in that goddamn movie.
So can you pull that thing up again?
Yeah.
So what's on, here's what when we look on the left, it's assortative mating, and on the right we look at hypergamy. Mm-hmm. And what we're trying to say is, what's on the right is the desires of women. Obviously, 70% of men aren't virgins, so like it's not like only the top 30% of men are getting laid at all. But what we see on the left is what ends up happening. And the thing is, what we hear from, I don't know, what do we call these people? The blue pill people? I don't know what we call Jasmine Jafar and Destiny.
The uninitiated.
Whatever, the blue pill. The blue pill side of the thing. Well, the thing is, what they're saying is, because on the left we see the assortative mating, that means that hypergamy isn't real. No, it doesn't mean that. What it means is, when women select for a man who makes $100,000 a year and is 6 feet tall, that's only 2.3% of men. And when you select for not obese and not married, it gets less than 1% of men. The reason why, so the thing that I heard Destiny say this, and I also heard Jasmine say this, the barista is not dating the billionaire. And the reason why is because there's probably 100,000 baristas in this country, and I believe there's 56 billionaires, okay? Mm-hmm. That's the difference. There aren't enough male billionaires that are single. There aren't enough billionaires to date the baristas. And so when you listen, and it was actually DatePsych who pointed this out, women tend to settle for a man who's a 5, and men tend to settle for a man or a woman who's an 8. And what he was trying to say is, it's actually women who are settling more. No, they're not. Homemaker said it correctly. When women say they're settling, they're not. What the settling looks like is that red chart right there. They're an 8, dating an 8, but in their mind they're settling because their preferences is that chart on the right. The chart on the right makes the girl who's a 4 think that she can get an 8 because she fucked an 8 one day. The girl who's a 7 thinks because she fucked Drake one time that she can get another guy to marry her. And so because of that, because she wants the 8, but she ends up settling for the 5, she ends up being like, well, I settled. No, you ended up about where you're supposed to be. And that is not a function of hypergamy or non-hypergamy. It's a function of economics. That's what's going on. There just aren't enough men out there that are able to do that kind of thing. And so that's what the issue is.
How many baristas want to fuck the billionaire?
Yes, that's correct.
To fuck the Chippendales.
Correct.
Dancer,
Now here's the thing. Now what the
so you're
response?
At the top of your game.
Now again, I'm gonna be the
billionaires are so
it's gonna be the highlight.
I'm gonna be the blue pill. I'm gonna be the blue pill advocate again. Okay. So now here's the blue pill advocate. So that what they're saying is, okay, yeah, hypergamy is real, Michael, but you see the assortative mating thing. That means it's good news for everyone. Everything works, except that it doesn't work because you look at the amount of people that are getting married, and it's the lowest rate possible. What's happened is that bottom group, they're not going across and getting married. Those women are just doing nothing. They're not getting married at all. That's essentially what's happening. That's what's going on. And at the top, here's the other issue. And this is just for like the top 5% of men. I got to look up the status on this. But like we see the men at the bottom having little to no sex, but to see the men in the top 5%, the number of sexual partners that they've had is like doubled. Well, something's broken here. If fucking 63%
might be working perfectly, and we just just never experienced it.
If 63% of men under the age of 30 are single, but only 33% of women, who the fuck are these women dating? And the answer is they're either dating the same guy or they're dating an older guy.
The invisible guys.
No.
You can't see them. You don't know about it.
No, but what I'm saying, of that 63% of men that are single, about half of them are invisible. And that's the reality of the situation. So while we keep talking about it's a good thing because of assortative mating, I can show you studies that show that as a man makes less and less money, the likelihood of him going a year without sex increases. That is hypergamy. Hypergamy is real and it manifests in real life all the time. Also, the study that showed, this was one of my most interesting studies to me, as a man is taller, so if a man goes from 5'8" to like 6'2", his lifetime sexual partners increases by 33%. But here's the crazy part. The same thing happens for women, and I don't know why. I cannot figure this one out. If a woman is taller, she actually has more lifetime sexual partners.
Serious?
I don't know why. And it's not quite to the same level, but it's a really, really interesting study. The other one is if a man is shorter, then when they surveyed them, those men have sex with their wives more often than taller men do, and are less likely to leave in divorce. Isn't that fun?
Yeah.
Because hypergamy isn't real, right?
Some level of consciousness, they understand their situation.
Send your hate my way, buddy. Sorry. Isn't that great? It's so awesome. Those fucking pesky stats. Hate that shit.
These guys are quoting wrong stuff.
So this is one other thing. I don't want to get too far off the subject, but when people don't like shows like this, because it's not that the stats because they can't say that the stats are wrong. They know the stats are right. The problem is, from their estimation, and this is what from Municat, this is the only thing I can come up with. She's not offended by the stats that we come up with. She's offended that men are even trying to figure this out.
Yeah, you're asking the wrong questions.
No, what's offensive is that this idea that men are trying to use science to figure out intersexual dynamics when it's like, duh, bro, it's just obvious, bro. And then while she's saying that, a pretty girl who has millions of followers on YouTube is saying that while a third of men who could never get with a girl like her are sitting there suffering, and then when evolutionary psychology could possibly shed light on why that is, she's like, no, strike that down. I can't believe you talk about that stuff.
Don't ask the questions.
Dude, the hip to waist ratio stuff is fucking unassailable. I'm sorry. I would bet, ma'am, if you're watching this, which I know you're not, actually you might be. You clipped me in your video like 4 times. If you're watching this, anything you want. Come on my show and let's debate. I promise you, no name calling, no nothing. If you want to go up against the data when it comes to hip to waist ratio, let's do it. And then what I need you to do though is propose an alternative theory. And the other problem is this: no matter what numbers David Buss or Lita Cosmetic or whoever came up with, she was going to have a problem with it. If the number was 0.75 or 0.72 or the idea that men, these fucking academic men, have the audacity to try to figure out women using science. Fuck these men. I can't believe that you would even consider. And then the other part is it's like, well, it turns out beauty actually isn't as subjective as you think, and you're teaching people this. How dare you? You're telling people how to think. No, I'm not. I'm not telling people how to think.
Clearly, you have no idea what it's like to be pretty.
Yeah, exactly. Like a beautiful woman is telling you to stop studying how to find beautiful women. Does that seem great? Does anyone else figure that out? When really, really good-looking dating coaches are telling you to just be yourself, is anybody else kind of fucking seeing what's going on? I don't mind that you're being sold to, but at least know you're fucking being sold to. I love Chris Williamson. I love his fucking podcast. But when a guy that good-looking is telling me to just be myself, must be really fucking nice, Chris, to be that good-looking and tell men to just be themselves.
Clearly,
I'm sure it works out really well for you. And by the way, like Alexander, like you too, but man, I am not confident enough to pull off a man bun. I'm not that good looking,
it's
bro.
a chin bun.
The chin bun. I am not that good looking to pull that off, bro. If I was that good looking, I'd be sitting there telling men to just be themselves too.
Zoe, how tall is your boyfriend?
I don't know, like 6'3".
It's really funny how bad women are at judging men's height. It's unbelievable.
I never really asked.
Yeah, no, it's funny because
Give me a rough estimate. You know how tall
Austin Dunham's 5'10", and he goes off and he asks a bunch of girls how tall he is, and they are so far off. So many women were saying he was 5'4". So one woman said he was 6'3". Women are completely off when it comes to height.
Next time you go into 7-Eleven, look at that thing so they know if like the guy leaving that just ripped off the 7-Eleven and say how
I
tall
need to go there. I need to go to 7-Eleven and take a picture next to it.
Have you seen how women do it online? We look at the pictures on Instagram, and then we look at their phone and we put on the phone.
Yeah.
Like, can work out how tall they are from their phone.
It's so funny. There's a Reddit article right now saying that I'm 5'8". No, I'm not kidding. Look it up right now. They're saying that they use ChatGPT to figure out that I'm 5'8".
How tall are you?
I'm 5'2".
You're 5'2"?
No, okay.
Yeah.
I'm 5'8".
5'8".
That's great.
That's funny. We at the end of Fresh and Fit, we all had to stand up in front of the thing and see how.
And they took it down. And they took it down. They took the video down.
It's on Rumble now.
Is it?
Yeah.
It's just so crazy, man.
It's up on Rumble.
All right.
I got some pretty good super chat questions
Let's
here,
do
so
it.
I think I'm going to start these before you do the next one. I got Thrive Alpha. He says, if he could do it, he would. Toxic or not? I don't know what that fuck means. Let's see. This is a better one. Thrive Alpha. Okay.
No. It's just when he wrote it, we were at a different part of the show, so we've forgotten the context. Love Thrive. Thrive sends me messages. Thrive's one of my affiliates on Twitter.
Right. Okay. So this is good. Have you ever been catfished by a guy? If so, how did you find out?
I don't think so. No.
You don't think you've ever been catfished?
You never have a guy
No.
use like stunning level 2 on fucking
No.
Face App and then snatch his waist? That's never happened.
No.
She's smiling because she knows what the fuck I'm talking about. Why are you laughing so hard, Amanda? Is it crazy to you that I know what stunning level 3 is? I'm going to use Hollywood 4, and then all of a sudden, wow, look how fucking even and clear her skin is. What the fuck's going on? Flawless. Have you ever been
I've been
catfished?
catfished so many times.
Have you?
Like, obviously, I was on TV for 10 years in England.
Yeah.
And so you get sent stuff from every single country. The worst one was when my friend from LA sends me this picture, and it was my Playboy picture on about 100 to 200 cards all over Dubai for a sex line. Oh, yeah. And then there was loads of girls. A guy who used to call me, he used to record my voice and then sell them through Instagram and Snapchat. Yeah.
Wow.
Like, I have lists. Like, and you can't sit there and just keep going through it. You hire like a DCMA agent, and even they can't keep up.
It's crazy.
It's crazy. It's like, you go and use AI.
Yeah.
Have you been catfished?
I can't think of any times off of the top of my head, to be honest.
So you don't
think
know? You don't know if you have. Maybe?
Maybe? I don't know.
Bro, guys are getting catfished every day on social media, bro.
Right.
It's horrible.
Okay,
But
ready?
I think guys are learning the angles just as
There you go.
much,
So
but
you
like,
write it up. So here's how it works, right? If I hold the camera up like this, man, I'm a woman. My boob. Nobody clip this. My boobs are bigger. My boobs are bigger, and my waist is smaller. Does everybody see that? My boobs are bigger. So you'll see like the girl who's overweight. What she'll do? She'll push her boobs together so they look like big and firm, and then she'll hold the camera up like this, and then kind of smile. So like, and then her face looks slimmer, her body looks slimmer, and her boobs look bigger because it's up here. So when you see that angle, like above 45-degree angle, you're dealing with a woman who's probably a little bit overweight.
You guys do that with dick pics.
Huh?
Yep, report those
Report those accounts?
But you guys do that with dick pics. Like,
what do you mean?
You guys catfish with dick pics.
What do we use? What do we proportionally stretch it?
Yeah, you get the angles. You get the angle going on.
So have you been disappointed? Whoa! I need to hear this. Stop! Everybody, stop talking. Come here to the microphone. You had a guy send you a dick pic, and then what happened?
No, you know what? I was dating this guy before.
Okay.
He lived 4 hours from me, and he was a good time. He was a good time. But you know what I'm like? I'm like a butterfly. Off I went into the big world, and I was like, I fancy a bit of that this year. Like, well, I'll have a bit of that. So he sent me these pictures, And I'm like, it looks okay. And it's okay.
But you've already had sex with him.
I've already had sex with him.
It's really confusing.
Get this. He actually has the tiniest hands you have ever seen. Like, they're like miniature hands. It's almost perverted. Like, he has the tiniest hands. And so I forgot. Like, I think it must have shrunk, like fully shrunk. Because I got there. I traveled 4 hours for that penis. I traveled 4 whole hours for that dick, right? And I got there and I was disappointed. Disappointed, honey.
That's when
I walked in, I walked straight out.
You know when you catch a fish, you're supposed to hold the fish out like this.
Yeah, that's what they're holding it closer to the camera.
That's what you're
You
supposed
guys,
to do.
you men do that.
Guys, I'm going to tell you something. Ready? This goes back to the original point. Do you want to know one thing that makes your penis smaller? Being fat. Obesity makes it smaller. It does.
So
Look
just
it up.
telling lies, Michael Sartain.
What'd you say?
So just telling lies.
Telling
they
lies.
say that every time a man lies to his wife, he loses an inch.
That would make sense. He'd have a black hole as a penis. His penis would
why
literally be the singularity of a black hole. It'd be the event horizon of a black hole.
In my time.
That is pretty amazing.
Logan, have you ever been catfished?
Bro, one time I was on fucking Tinder, and I actually had Tinder when I was like 17, when it was good. Back in the day, 5 years ago, Tinder was fucking fire.
Yeah.
So fire.
Agreed.
The ratios, God tier. So I had Tinder when I was younger. Me and my guys were fucking swiping on there as a game. And I had one chick who was like 23. She looked pretty young,
And
though.
you're 17.
I was 17. She pulled it to my house. I didn't have a car back then. She pulled it to my house, and I'm walking out to the car. And I FaceTime her and everything. But she was like in low light, whatever. But her photos, she was like a 9, whatever. I walk up to the car, and she rolls down the window. And I'm like, are you this chick? And she's like, yeah. I'm like, no, you're not, bro. No, you're not, bro.
Are you her Uber driver?
No, you're not, bro.
And then, yeah, I just had to tell her straight up, like, yeah, you don't look like your photos, dude. And I walked out. Wow. And then I had another girl come over.
So let me let me give you guys another piece of advice. So you'll notice a lot on Tinder, Bumble, and Hinge, they'll let you connect with an Instagram. So I would go to the girl's Instagram and then click that middle tab for her Reels, so you can just see her in motion on Reels. Now, the only caveat I'll give you is that now FaceApp will also manipulate Reels.
Here's the better. You go to the photos of her from her friends. You go to the photos of her from her friends' posts.
Yeah.
That's the real game.
So you tag, exactly. You look at photos that she's tagged in.
Real friends aren't also editing your photos.
Yeah, they're the good ones. They're the good ones.
Yeah, well, just do the math. If she's a 10 on IG, just minus 3 points, and you'll be good.
Then you're good?
Yeah.
That's how it works? Okay.
So one thing I want to say is, like, I feel like women catfish more with, like, looks, but, like, men catfish with, like, lifestyle.
Yeah,
of course.
Personality.
Lifestyles, like, so badly. I'm like,
man.
so where's this Lamborghini you posted?
You're
picking me up in a Toyota.
Okay, so I have recent experience with this, and I hate to say that I have recent experience with this, but when we were in Miami, I was hanging out with Fresh before the show. We were just hanging out, going getting lunch and everything, and he wanted to get another picture of me for the thumbnail because, like, a lot of the pictures they already have are pretty old, right? So we're in his Audi. It's not even it's not a Lamborghini. It's a nice, was an R8 or something. Yeah, R8
hard.
It was very nice car, right?
Yeah.
Convertible and everything.
R8's like $270,000.
Yeah, still pretty expensive car, right? So
one,
so I'm on the car. I'm on the back of the car, and just, I have my shirt, my t-shirts on, everything else. And so he takes a picture of me. I think, we're going to use that for the thumbnail. I throw it up on Instagram. Dude, everyone, my haters go, oh, that's all. He got that car. That's his car. He's flexing on. Like, they think I'm flexing because this is my new car. I'm like, and I didn't put any caption, no nothing. It was just the picture, right?
Yeah.
Everybody assumes that car was mine just by me being on that. I didn't say jack shit about owning a car. I didn't say it was Fresh's. But if you show a guy with a car, the presumption automatically is he just bought that car. That's his fucking car.
To mostly other guys.
Yeah.
You don't know
yeah, for sure. Like I said, my haters are like, but nobody even asked me, is that your car? Did you just buy that? It wasn't even a question. It was just they can't come. What happened to the Camaro? Then nothing happens like that. Or else they'll pick you apart. Like they'll go, oh, why does he wear that beanie? Is that his real hair? Is that it? Why
Is it
wear
your
those
real
jeans?
hair?
Yes, it's my real
okay.
hair. Yes. That's another real good one because it's funny. So I get a ton of shit for this, right? Like people say, well, why do you wear that beanie all the time? Take that off. Are you bald? Blah blah blah. So I post like 6 pictures of me with my hair with a beanie off, my hair down, and everything else. Everybody's like, because they asked me for this. Everybody's
Damn,
like,
why you flex at me, bro?
No, everybody goes, oh man, you're like a 14-year-old girl. You're taking selfies. Are you gay? Like they would ask.
No
me
matter
like
what
that.
you do, bro. No matter what you do.
What you do, you cannot possibly win with these people. And so they're like, take off your beanie. I'm like, okay, take off the beanie. You look like Caitlyn Jenner.
Oh my
I can't fucking win with you people, so I give
Yeah,
up.
I think there's more of an ROI with guys and networking if you post like cars and stuff like that. With girls, dude, they've met so many guys, like you said, they're faking that shit. So,
bro, if you have a Lambo and you're in Miami, it actually hurts. It works against you because they're so rented out there. It was like Wes when I was with Wes Watson last weekend. He was like, "Dude, I got Wyoming plates on these. Like, tell me how I fucking lease these things." He pulls up in 2 Phantoms and a Bugatti at the same time. That shit was crazy.
$10 million a car.
$10 million of the car. He told me, he was like, "Dude, I got to spend $1.3 million a month on my business just for write-offs." How fucking crazy is that, man? So you see stuff like that. Yeah, it's.
I didn't even know those were his. When
I would never do that stuff for girls though. If your purpose is on social media to get girls and you're using it as a dating app, just
you're
posting
stuck.
cars.
You're stuck.
You're gonna get girls don't really give a fuck. I'll be straight up. Girls don't give a fuck.
Well, a subset of girls do give a fuck, but you're right.
But you don't want those girls.
You don't want those girls.
Exactly.
Correct.
So it traps you. You don't want to do that as a guy.
And there's no way. The other thing that's really great is there's no way out. Right.
Yes.
So it's for instance, if you put on a lot of muscle mass. We're taking Trenbolone, Equipoise, and Masteron. What'll happen is, like, you can't go back. You can't put on that same level of muscle mass. When you take steroids, you got to keep taking steroids. Yeah. It's the same thing. When you lead with money with a woman, you can't then turn that back into sexual desire. Yep. But you can go the other way, meaning it's what Homath calls Prince Charming. You can be this ultimately, like, super hyper sexually attractive man to her, where she genuinely desires you sexually, and then provide for her. And then you're Prince Charming. And then you are both. You build comfort and you have attraction. What you can't do, though, is start with comfort and then try to build an attraction. That makes it a little harder. You're the gay best friend who all of a sudden pulls his dick out at the movies. That doesn't work.
Well, yeah,
that doesn't work as
It's
well.
the same thing with guys who are trying to use dating apps for partners. Like, bro, you're there to fuck. That is what it is. And guys who are messaging girls things like long topics and these questions, they're coming off too friendly or coming off as too much of a long-term partner. When it's, dude, these girls want to fuck, bro. It's either you or the guy she's fucking in like 5-10 minutes.
Yeah,
that's it.
So we did
She
another.
knows, bro.
We did another dating show recently in Miami, and the guys kept saying, "Oh yeah, I'm looking to get married and have kids." I'm like, dude, shut the fuck up. It's your first date. I don't give a fuck if you are trying to get married and have kids. Shut the fuck up, bro. What if she wants to fuck right now, and then later on figures out that she wants to be in a relationship with you? Well, that's all off the table because you just said that especially if it was Amanda, you just said you want to get married. She's gonna make you fucking wait 3 months. What is it? You look like a 3-month kind of girl. Is that it? 4 months. What are you?
I mean, I have waited 3 months.
You see, 3 months. She's gonna make you fucking wait 3 months, bro. You're gonna be dead. Your fucking sperm's gonna dry.
It's the wrong mindset for a guy to be looking towards marriage and anything.
Even if you are, it's like poker. Don't let them see it. Don't let them see it. Here's the thing. Girlfriend is like this. Bro, a girlfriend is like this. A girlfriend is a position like I was hosting Swimsuit USA's fucking world championship. There were 74 girls competing in this thing, and I was the only guy there working at the whole thing. Do you think I went to this bitch looking? Do you think I went to this bitch looking for a relationship? Hell no. But I found one. Why? Because I wasn't looking.
Correct.
And I found one. You want to know why? Because I was happy as a motherfucker by myself.
Yep.
I was so happy with my 3 cats and my PS5. I didn't give a shit. I was so happy with before, and then all of a sudden, poof. You want to know? Because she earned relationship. She earned it. Instead of me going, I need to get in a relationship because my aunt and my uncle, whenever I go home for Thanksgiving, keep asking me when I'm going to get married, and my pastor and my mom and all these people keep pressuring. Like, no, bro, if you're doing that, you're just going to end up lowering your standards, and then we have a 56% divorce rate in the country.
You're a guy who doesn't fuck.
Yes.
And even if you're, like you said, you're hiding it, you want to hide those cards, you do want to get married as a guy, it's a very feminine way of thinking. Like, as a guy, you should be more focused on your mission and purpose. Girls are the ones who are usually thinking about relationships and dating. They should bring that shit up forward. And if you are a guy who's thinking about getting married to this girl in the back of your head, or you want something more serious, you're going to show that eventually. The complacency is going to come up to where you're going to start catching feelings because you don't have experience or you're a simp, whatever the fuck. And you're going to start doing things that's going to turn her off. She was attracted to you in the first place because you didn't have those things on your mind, or she didn't see it that way. So...
So let's talk about another thing. If women are the gatekeepers to sex, then men need to be the Yes, exactly. Men need to be the gatekeepers to relationships. Meaning, like I recommend, I don't care how much you love a girl, she needs to be the first one to bring up what are we.
Yes.
If you as the man are bringing up what are we, bro, it is because here's the problem. It doesn't matter.
If you ever want to break up with a girl, say that.
Yeah, say exactly. Like the three of you are attractive. Like the guys you date, no matter even your male stripper boyfriend, you get more attention than he does. You get more attention than he does. Okay, for sure. So my point is, just imagine a situation. If you and I are dating, you get more attention than I do, and I'm more into you than you're into me. We're fucked. If this relationship isn't going to work. Correct. But it will work if you're the one being like, hey, I'd really want a relationship with you, but you already get more attention. You already have that leverage point. So now things can balance out. That's why I've always said this: women need to be slightly more into their men than the other way around, because it doesn't work. You have more options than we do. That's why.
Yeah.
Can't look up to a man who is your equal.
Yeah.
Correct.
And you're right. I was just to finish this off. You're correct about the idea that it's easier for men today to like simulate and to fabricate like cues of higher status, especially because when we're on Instagram, it's never been easier for guys to go just lean against a fucking Audi and like everybody presumes. I didn't have to say anything. Nope. They presume that that's your car. So if you're sitting by a Lambo, people are gonna say, "Oh, you rented that." That's gonna happen, but even if you don't say jack shit, that image is still right there. So it ends up being all perception. And then more to your point, instead of like back in the day, before like Tinder was a thing, or like Bumble, Hinge, and all that good stuff, there was it Plenty of Fish, there was Match.com, there's what was the other one? There's a Match, OK Cupid, that was another one.
My age.
But you used to have to write your own profile. Like, here's what I am. I'm this tall. I'm this more to love, or I'm in shape, athletic, whatever. I smoke. I want kids. I don't want kids. I have pets. Whatever. You have to go through this like laundry list of things. You have to do this real soul searching about yourself, and then you have to go and create this sort of fantasy profile of who you would like to date. And okay, he's got to be like this. He's got to have this much money. He's got to want his kid. So you would roll this. It's all very relationship based, and that insight and everything you had to go into to make your own profile and look for somebody else, that took a lot of time and a lot of energy to figure out what you're about. Right now, nope. It's all pictures. It's all pictures. It's not. Okay, you don't remember this? There used to be way back in the mid 2000s. There used to be, maybe you do, the Am I Hot or Not?
Yeah, Hot or Not. It was great.
That is all Tinder is. It's Am I Hot or Not? And then you can, I'm hot. Okay, here's my phone number. That's all. It used to be.
So before it was called Facebook, it was called Face Smash, and it was a Hot or Not thing so basically, Zuckerberg broke into he got access to the student records at Harvard, and he used all the photos from the student records, and then made a Hot or Not called Face Smash, a Hot or Not kind of thing called Face Smash. Yeah. I will say this: I don't think dating apps are bad for men, but I think they're inefficient unless you're really good looking, and then I think dating apps are incredible for men. But for the rest of you, dating apps are just inefficient. I will say one really good thing that dating apps do, though, is that smart photo thing. You know what I'm talking about? You put like 9 photos in there, and it'll tell you which one girls like that. That I do like. Guys should be using that. So basically, you could put 9 photos in there, and then you click the smart photo button, and it will tell you which one of the photos that girls respond to the most. That's a really good data point. So I do, and then what I would do is then I'd make that my cover photo on Instagram, and then I'd take that photo off my Tinder, and then figure out which the next one is. The next one. That's what I would do if I was a guy, using that as kind of a way to figure out which photo is the best.
Okay, next question here from Thrive Alpha again. Apparently, there's an epidemic of dudes addicted to porn. Do women watch porn or read erotic literature? What is porn to women?
Why are you looking at me?
I just feel like I feel like you've read 50 Shades of Grey and while sitting on the dryer.
I haven't.
Okay,
I've watched it.
You watch it?
Yeah, but I don't watch porn.
You don't watch porn? Not with your partner or nothing?
Very selective. I like something like, what is the movie? It's like a 50 Shades of Grey. I can't think of it off of the top.
365 Days?
Yeah.
God damn it. Everyone keeps talking about this movie, which just sounds insane.
I think because of the guy. Gee.
Yeah?
Sheesh. Yeah, sheesh.
You watch porn with your partner?
I would, yeah, but I don't watch it on my own anymore. I used to watch it when I was younger.
Yeah?
That's kinky. But, She definitely.
Zoe, you watch it now?
What kind of porn do you watch, Zoe? We want to know what kind of porn you watch. Girl on girl.
Midgets.
Oh my God.
Zoe's like, I subscribe to myself.
Literally. No, I love porn. I absolutely love porn. I watch porn literally like 3 times a day.
You want some tequila?
Like, I got my wand in one hand, my phone in the other. I'm like, that's big. It's like this big. I'm like...
Okay, let that be a lesson to you. She dates a Chippendales guy, and she still watches porn.
when I'm in Canada.
Living the best life.
I see. So when times are rough.
So it's super friendly porn if it's from Canada.
Yeah.
Okay. Last one here.
You just say sorry the whole time.
Sorry. Can a guy that you are attracted to or aroused by ever be vulnerable? Can being vulnerable ever be a turnoff? If so, how?
I don't know.
Amanda, I just feel like I need to get to know you better because I've been hurt by my previous relationship, and I just want to let you know, like, I just got to take things slowly. And my ex, she cheated on me.
I just want to fuck. I don't want to be your counselor.
My ex, Amanda,
they're the ones that are the bad ones.
My ex cheated on me, and my ex before that cheated on me, and my ex before that cheated on me, Amanda.
I think if you haven't dealt with the effects of whatever it is that you went through, and you haven't you haven't processed that, then I think that it can
fuck
work.
me. How do you feel about a dude who talks to you like that?
Pussy is dry.
I personally like emotional intelligence and emotional awareness. But
that's the sound of your vagina drying up.
that crack and pepper.
Hubba.
I mean, I don't know. I think I don't know.
Did your previous partner have emotional intelligence?
Absolutely not.
Yeah, not?
What?
No, he pretended to.
He pretended to?
Yeah, he pretended a lot of things.
Okay.
They do.
Pretend to have emotional intelligence.
We'll give him
We need another tequila.
I wasn't physically catfished, but I was catfished.
You're catfish? Let's get her another tequila. She needs another one. She was catfish. Niku, can we get another tequila? What about you?
Buyer's remorse.
Yes, please.
No. What was the question before about men being too vulnerable? Was that it?
I'll read it to you again. Can a guy that you're attracted to or aroused by being vulnerable ever be a turnoff? If so, how?
It depends if they're actually really being vulnerable or faking it. I've dated a guy before who could make himself cry and then would say, all these horrible things his exes did, and straight away I was like, red flag, what am I doing?
Mm-hmm.
That's when it's scary. That's a turn off. If someone can make themselves cry, as opposed to being vulnerable. I believe I've actually sat here holding it in whilst you were all saying this. For me, when you're dating someone, and any time in your life, it shouldn't just be about sex. It shouldn't be just about the way they look or what they have. Like, you should be able to be your full, authentic self with these people.
Can you answer this as a Valley girl?
Yeah, sure. Let me scrap that.
Okay.
Okay, so.
No. Go ahead. Do it.
I like that button so much. Thank you so much. What was the question?
You're talking about being your genuine self, but I want you to do it with an American accent.
Self, right? So when you're dating someone, I think you should be your genuine, authentic self. You should be able to live your life just the way you want to live, and that person should make your life better. As in, they should be able to be their authentic self, and I should be able to be my authentic self.
Her American accent is better than mine.
It's so much better. I've been practicing. I just copy you. That's all. Hey, Zoe. Let's watch that porn.
Do you like
now.
it? Do you like it?
You'd be vulnerable together.
Zoe, do you like them to be
so
vulnerable? Are you going to come out there and be like, fuck that? I just want him to have sex with me and shut the fuck up.
No, I like it when guys are vulnerable, but I like to be the reason why they're crying in my arms.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah?
I'm like, don't come to me with your problems that are don't have anything to do with me. If I'm making you cry, hot.
You have such a masculine energy right now.
You want them to be obsessed with you.
Yeah, I like to make them out to be a bitch a little bit.
Bitch slapping him around.
Have you ever done that?
Cry for me
all the time.
Do you stay with those guys?
Give me a story. Tell me when the last
For the
time.
most part.
Tell us.
Give us a story.
Tell us everything.
What did you do to him? How did you hurt him?
I don't know.
She's smiling too much.
I'm not telling any stories, but
scared.
most of my exes, I asked them for honest reviews, and one of them actually sent me a full review, and at the end of it, he said, the words that I would use to describe you is what was it? A soul-sucking succubus.
Oh my god! I think we've all been called that, haven't we? Even
put one in the chat if you want to ask out Zoe. Put one in the chat for Zoe. You want a succubus in your life? Put the word succubus in the chat.
It's a red flag. I'm coming.
Comment succubus and she will give you a discount.
That's what you can address me as next time.
You know who you look like? You're
Go ahead, Amanda.
I think
one
the
from
vulnerability
Sinbad.
also
Right.
for a man to be expressive or to express vulnerability, it depends on what his angle is and what time in the relationship that he's being vulnerable.
Yeah.
Now,
totally agree.
can you like?
Right?
Yeah.
Can you define like what you think vulnerability is? Because we're joking around here saying, "Oh, he's I'm going to be vulnerable to you." That's okay. That's kind of silly, but like vulnerable in what way?
Well, being
real,
expressive about his feelings, and I think that takes a lot of courage for a man to open up and be like, exactly, and not try to put on this cape of masculinity.
So you don't think it would be clingy? You don't think it would be like, I really love you?
I think it. I mean, I think that that's just conditional on the situation.
See, I think that when we talk, I think when guys and women talk about vulnerability, I don't think they share a common definition.
Yeah, I have like 40 people that work for me, and when we do meetings, I don't have the luxury of being vulnerable. When I was a captain in my unit in the military, I do not have the luxury of sitting there crying in front of these men. I have to look confident so they feel confident. That's my burden as a man. So I just don't understand that. Do I have the same feelings you do? I do. I just express them differently. I express them in the gym. I express them with a bench press max. That's what I'll do. And I was like, I don't like just completely hold them in, but it's one of these situations where it's like it's not functional. We have tequila for you because you were catfished. I thought that was really unfair that you had to deal with that. Go ahead.
Why is everyone staring? Yeah, no, I completely agree. The only thing is, I do feel like that affects a lot of relationships if a guy closes himself off,
sure,
or like goes off with his problems, because then the woman's like, "What's wrong? Is he cheating? Is he doing this?" And then you've got this whole miscommunication, and then they end up arguing. But then the guy doesn't want to express himself. And
yes,
the
that's just
like,
good game.
But then she ends up staying with him forever.
Yeah, and the woman's like,
she ends up fucking him and bringing women home to him. What a fucking terrible. That sounds terrible.
I'm fine. And then
I think every single guy's learned this the hard way. And every single guy knows the answer to this question. Whenever a guy shows his emotion in any fucking way, in any situation, business, life, military, girls, it never ends well. And the guy will always fucking regret doing that shit every single time. And that's why so many girls are like, oh, who hurt you? Who hurt you? I called it. Because so many girls say those things.
It was your Tesla.
Yeah. It's just
see, men tend to default, like women, when it comes to emotionality, like women default to crying, guys default to anger. So, like for instance, like I just recently, about a month ago, when all the shit was going down with Fresh and the baby scare, like the baby trap scare that was going on.
I just heard about that recently.
And so Myron was like defending Fresh, and he broke his coffee cup, and he was just like losing his shit on. So what do you think the people in the chat said? Oh, so emotional. So they were just like coming down on him.
Yeah, like that, don't do that.
He wasn't crying. He wasn't being a bitch. He was actually had some sort of righteous anger about all this stuff. And he was being emotional, but he was doing so, and it's because he was impassioned to go and to actually do that. Right? He was emphasizing his points.
Yeah, that's his boy.
Emotionally, as a boy. So I think that when women say, "Oh, well, men need to share their emotions," well, the thing is most guys default to anger first when they're going to share their emotions. But on top of that, men and women don't process emotions, and especially negative emotions, in the same way. We don't have the same hardware. We don't, like, men and women, believe it or not, are different down to the molecular level, down to the cellular level. So when you look at the way that, if you look at brain scans of men and women, bless you, when you look at men and women, and you look at the way that the synapses are connected, yes, women have a better faculty for communication. They have a better faculty for like nuance and subcommunications, and as far they enjoy the conversation, whereas guys are more informational. We have a different way of thinking about things, so we don't lead with emotions. It's not that we don't have them; we just save them to process those later, after whatever it is that we're trying, whatever problem that we're trying to solve at that time. We don't think about how am I going to feel about this problem. We go and we fucking address the problem, and then we figure out how we feel about it. For women, it's the opposite way around. It's like, oh, how does this conversation make me feel? And then it's like, okay, well, what did that bitch just tell me? Like what's the information? So it's like there's a miscommunication there. So like my favorite example of this is, just because your boyfriend doesn't cry at the end of fucking Titanic doesn't mean he's emotionally stunted. He doesn't have literally does not have the same hardware that you do in your brain. But we're still expecting that guy to be vulnerable and emote like a woman. Like to express your emotions and everything else. Well, maybe his default expression of emotion is to go to the gym and sit under 400 pounds in the squat rack.
Yeah,
man.
if he's a masculine dude, they're thinking about emotional feminine guys.
Because the thing is when we talk about, that's why I said there's different definitions and different concepts of like what is vulnerable, what's not between men and women. So guys, if you to be emotional, it might be Myron breaking his fucking glass on the his cup on the countertop there. Whereas for women, it might be, well, how come he doesn't tell me like his true feelings, and how come he doesn't cry in my lap, and how come oh my gosh, I can't. He wants are we gonna have a baby?
Guys are actually more vulnerable and more soft than women. Like they love harder, 10 times harder than women. It just takes them, like they have that big wall up, don't they? But they're actually softer and they love harder. That's why they hurt harder. But there is a difference between expression and aggression. So it's just if they can learn how to channel that, and they learn that at a certain age most of the time.
Well, again, learning to do that is something that has to be taught and conditioned into a child that doesn't have the hardware to really do that. So what you're doing is you're basically taking software to override the firmware in that case. Yeah. So his natural impulse is to do what he does. So when men are like not emotionally available, it's not that they're not emotionally available. They simply don't process emotions the same way that women, and especially negative emotions, the same way that women do. So I think that's something to keep in mind when we're talking about emotions, but also when it comes to vulnerability. And I agree with Mike here. I think if your personality is predominantly really alpha, and you're really like a woman has a really hard time reaching you, vulnerability. If you show just a little bit of a vulnerability to that woman, she thinks she's special. She's the only girl in the world that can drag that out. It's like Beauty and the Beast, right? I'm the only girl, a special girl that can take this out of him.
I think the boundary is now my vulnerability. I'm expressing problems, complaining, or acting like a victim, and I need you, my woman, to fix this problem for me. That's the sound of the vagina just drying up. Yeah. That is not your therapist. If you think your girl is your therapist, that is not your girl for much longer. Let me do this one.
Here's one. Is it okay to share emotions with a woman after she tells him she has cervical cancer?
Wait, what? Wait.
Mark Walk. That is oddly specific.
Yeah, I think it's fine. I think that's okay. I don't think it's a problem. Because I mean, she's being that vulnerable. I think is it okay to be emotional when you just had a child with a woman? Yes. Yeah. We're not saying that's not the case. The problem is it's these women that are like, these men haven't done the work and gone to therapy, and on the first date you need to express your feelings. Like, no, you fucking don't.
Don't lead with vulnerability.
You fucking don't. That's the problem. Like, they don't grasp this.
Vulnerability is not fucking game, and everybody thinks it is.
Yes.
And for that guy specifically, you still have to be stronger than her emotionally in that situation, because she's looking at you to take care of her, not the other way around. So you still have to hold your frame in some sort of way to where she's like, oh, why is this guy more worried about me than this shit? Right?
Because again, women are looking for long-term security. They need to know that guy can actually provide that security. If you're overly vulnerable, that's a deficit. That's a mark against you, because it means if you're going to be like this, if you can't figure this out and you need me to help you, then I can't rely on you for that long-term security.
But once a relationship is already established, then vulnerability can actually enhance the relationship.
For sure, but I still don't think you need to be solving his problems. Oh, you can. I just think that you're going to become a little bit less attractive to him in general. Maybe.
But that's how it used to be. Like, the women hold the men up. You know, it's like, Egyptians. Have you ever studied the Egyptians, the Mayans? Like,
show me a society where that lasted.
The man was the accessory, honey.
Yes.
You know, we held them up,
Speaking of accessory.
Back to being an accessory. Speaking of accessory, we have a perfect video. Can we get Rollo's screen up on the set? There we go. Let's do it.
Cooked.
Go on, girl. Spicy.
Why did you make me do that one?
I like that one.
What do you guys think?
That was the best one so far.
Yikes.
Go ahead.
So my relationship is actually open.
Okay.
So like with that, like mine's like actually quite literally the opposite. Like he sleeps with girls, and like I don't really do that. Like I don't go out and sleep with men or like seek men. But like for me, I feel like he's just happier when he's getting his dick sucked. Like I'm cool with it. But like with that, like where like a woman is just like, it's one-sided, basically. I'm like,
I think it kind of depends on who suggests that the relationship be
has
open.
to be the woman. It has to be.
If it's a dude, if you're dating a dude and the guy is like literally a male porn star and he's like, hey, I think we should be open. What he's saying is, I have a ton of fucking options. I'd like to express those options, but I still like coming home to you. If it's a situation where like the guy is very happy, taking care of his kids, comes home from work every day, and she's like, I think we should be open. What she's saying is, I want to express my options. That's generally the way it works. That's what I've seen.
Whose idea was it?
Tell me about your last three. Hold on. Amanda, tell me about your last 3 open relationships. Go ahead.
Yummy.
I don't think I've had a open relationship that I was aware of.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah, literally, right?
City boys up.
However, I think that like I have the capability of understanding that men can have sex, just have sex without emotions attached to it. So if a man
put a 1 in the chat if you agree with Amanda. Put a 1 in the chat if you agree with Amanda.
Thank you. So I don't know. I personally like monogamy. That's just how
it's great.
How I like my men. But if we've established trust and we want to invite somebody into our relationship or into the bedroom, then I would be open with that as long as the relationship has already established itself.
Agreed.
And that trust
when
is
you know
there.
when you know he's yours.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then there's etiquette. But if you're doing it and I don't know about it.
That's what I think.
then
That's what
it's
they
like-
like, though. I think they like the creeping around. Yeah. Like if you ever offered it, you're like, okay, just go do that.
So are you
But
guys more
often-
worried about the guy sleeping with other girls, or the fact that he tries to hide it and lies to you guys about it? What's
Hide it.
worse?
The
It's
lies.
the
The lies.
lie.
The
Kind
lies.
of.
Women
It's
will all
lie.
agree. It's
For
the
sure.
lies. You
It's
can
the
literally.
deceit.
Yeah. But that's what I think they like. I think they like that. That's the sneaking around, the creeping around. Like you can literally, and you know me for 10 years.
Agreed. I've known you for 10 years.
always
And,
gonna be like,
and
you can live
I
your
tend to
life.
hear this answer from women
Yeah.
who have dated either really good-looking, professionally successful men, like at the top. They tend to have the answer that you guys have where they understand that men can have sex
Yeah.
and it doesn't change the relationship. Whereas I see women who have not dated men like that, they tend to still live in this fairy tale where like men wanting sexual variety is just like if you guys want to see a great example of this, I'll make a clip on my Instagram where I'll talk about men wanting more sexual variety than women, and then you'll see these beta cuck men that will start making these comments like, I would never want that. I just want a relationship. And I always respond, I'm like, hey bro, no offense, but like these girls aren't going to fuck you because you wrote this.
Yeah, yeah.
Like you're not
still
like your
won't
white
fuck you,
knight
bro.
shit is not helping. Like listen, Amanda's literally
Get out
agreeing
my
with me.
DMs.
You guys, all of your cuck shit that you write telling me that I'm insecure because I talk about mate choice copying, a sexy son's hypothesis and pre-selection. The women, I know this is really disappointing to you. Those women that you're white knighting, they're not going to fuck you. They're not just because you posted that.
Yeah, they'll say that's sweet.
Yeah, they'll say
But
that's
they still
sweet.
won't fuck you.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, I got. But let's back this up with data. Thank you, Rolf Dengen, for this one. The idea of open relationships is likely to be most attractive to those who see themselves as having higher quality relationship options. In data sets from the United States, Europe, and Korea, perceptions of higher quality alternatives were consistently associated with more interest in consensual non-monogamy, open relationships, further consistent with previous work on commitment-motivated relationship maintenance process. We found support for the indirect effect whereby lower commitment was associated with higher perceived attractiveness of alternatives, which in turn was associated with more interest in consensual non-monogamy. End of the
So
story.
you looked at a couple.
Whoever thinks they are hotter than the other one,
Yes.
who thinks he's got, whether it's the woman or the man, if they think they can get more dick or more pussy, they're into it.
Yeah, but it's
please,
way more
baby.
worse if the girl is bringing up that open relationship.
So say the science is settled.
Please, baby, go have fun.
Yeah, beautiful.
Yes.
You want to go to another one here?
Those guys never quote studies.
Just start clipping. Just post whatever videos. up.
Because all these girls, like, their eyes are all back. There we go. Let's see. Oh, God.
This one's great.
Which one?
My Bill's here.
Okay.
Play whatever. We got a ton of them.
Let's see.
We got 12 videos.
My bills. Here they go. Okay, here we go. God, this is funny.
Anybody trying to date me, my bills or your bills? I don't care whose car it is. You're trying to date me. You're trying to take a load off of me. So my car is your car. You cover the bills. It's simple. You're trying to date me, so my bills are your bills. Period.
Baby girl, you're not fine enough to make these type of insane demands. Actually, you're not fine at all. You are a whole lot closer ugly on the scale than fine. I'm not gonna call you ugly, but I'm pretty sure the only person that's ever called you pretty is your mom. The You Need a Better Mirror award goes to this snuffleupagus stunt double right here. There are 8s and 9s and 10s who cannot get a man to pay for all their bills to try to date them. And you gonna say this shit? Hell, you need to pay somebody to have lunch with you. You need to pay us to watch this video.
I want to say, shout out to it's Dave Martin. He actually tagged me in that, so I wanted to post that. Anyway, I thought that was really funny. One of the situations is like when you hear someone say that, like for women, they're like, yeah, go girl, that's right. They're going to encourage each other when they hear that. Very similar to, is Lizzo attractive? What she's saying is utter and complete delusional nonsense. But the point, you know what? I shouldn't say that. What she's saying doesn't work. That's a better way. I've made a commitment to myself to not say things are good or bad. What she's saying does not work. But the reality is, if a man went on there and be like, hey, listen, you guys just need to understand, I need to have sex on the first date. You need to come take care of me. I can go see whoever the fuck I want. I don't know. If a man were to express his same preferences, that would be considered toxic. And it would be
Canceled.
it would be taken off TikTok. It would be taken off TikTok. You wouldn't make it on Twitch. You would make it. It's just really interesting. Like, why is that the case? And part of the reason why that's the case is where he is saying she's not attractive, there's still so many men at the bottom who have no options with women that to them, they'll still take her.
Yes.
And so what she's receiving is right swipes on dating apps and attention from social media. And she's conflating that with high status men willing to give her commitment, in which case she has very little, because the point of her making that video was not to let you know that she needs you to pay her bills. The point of that video was to let you know that you need to know that you need to know. Like, she needs you to know that she needs you to know that she needs to pay. I mean, the whole point of that video was attention. She wanted attention to let you know how attractive she thought she was.
That's what a viral video is, though.
Exactly. Yeah. Beautiful. Anybody else have any thoughts about that? Did you want to pay her bills?
No.
No?
What is she bringing to the table?
Well, the thing is, guys would be mad at what she said. Guys are mad at what she said, but the reality is there's simps behind her and white knights behind her.
That's my point.
Who are funding her beliefs. Women are societal creatures, and if society is a bunch of fucking simps and simp ideologies, dude, that's what's funding the OnlyFans and all this other bullshit going on. It's the fucking simps. So guys get mad at girls, but realistically, if no simps existed, you'd be broke. It's just reality.
What she's saying doesn't make me mad. What she's saying is, like, as someone who would pay my wife's bills if I was married, 100%. If I were to do that, to see her say that seems outrageous. Just for me personally, it just seems outrageous that she would ask for something like that. Amanda?
I think.
Put a 2 in the chat if you want to pay Amanda's bills. Put a 2 in the chat. Put a 3 if you want to pay Delia's bills, and a 4 in the chat if you want to pay Zoe's bills. Go ahead.
If a woman is able to pay her own bills, and she's going to date her equal, then the man should also be able to contribute and take care of her with the ability that she can still pay the bills. You know what I mean? If it's a dependence, then that might be a different factor.
That seemed like a dependence to me. That seemed like that woman. Yeah.
But
she was in the supermarket. She was buying her own food.
No, she wasn't. No, she wasn't. She was getting Venmoed. She's getting Venmoed by some fucking dude. No, she's getting cash out.
But also, if that's her environment where she has people paying for her bills, and then any man that does enter into her life and wants to date her then needs to take on the role of all of these other men that are fulfilling those needs.
Yeah.
That's how it gets as well. They're like, quit your job, quit this. You're like,
you want me to
excuse me?
You want me to be broke?
Yeah, who paid for your potatoes, Daniel? Choke on it.
She's walking through Costco.
Yeah, literally.
I got a related. Here's a related one. Let's do this one real quick. Set me up. There you go.
How much should a guy spend on a wedding ring? Well, given that it's a wedding ring, that means we'd have to get to the point of getting married, and I won't even entertain a guy if he doesn't drive at least a $300,000 car. Not to mention, if we do get to that point, the ring literally has to be someone's mortgage.
Right, yeah. So you want a guy with a lot of money?
Are you kidding? If it's not Bill Gates, I'm not marrying him.
I guess it's valid.
Baby, this kitty makes more money than Bill Gates, I'll tell you that.
Bill Gates, though. She has to throw out the Bill Gates card.
That wall's going to hit hard.
Bro, it's just crazy. So a mortgage payment or a whole mortgage?
Can I ask you something? How much is your Lexus worth?
Oh, my shit is probably not even worth fucking 10 grand now. Yeah,
How old is that, bro?
For those of you who don't know, this is and I do this because
I have about 18.5 in the Camaro. So
I do this to piss people off. I drive a Lexus that is 10 years old that has 111,000 miles. I can afford whatever car I want. The reason why, by the way, Myron, what does he have? He has a 2002 Toyota Camry. The reason why is because we don't need money to generate attraction. There are other ways to do it. So that's the reason why you can see my big fat, see my fucking Rolex here by apple.com. Like, that's the thing. Like, you don't need money to pull these things off. And these guys are like, because they look at my content online, they're like, you're just paying these girls to be there. And I'm like, bullshit, bitch. I'm not doing any of that. And that's what pisses you off. Now, when you see a girl like this, obviously we're back to the whole thing again. Is it important that this woman gets a mortgage payment for a diamond ring and the guy drives a $300,000 car? No. What's important is that you think she does, and she lets you know that she thinks she's worth a guy like that. That's the whole point of it, is for her to fucking get attention. Go ahead, Delia.
Can we actually play the longer one? I posted it on my Instagram. And at the end she's like, but can you buy you, screw the engagement ring, buy me a tank.
A tank?
That's my,
tank?
I posted that, yeah.
Oh, jeez. I don't have that. I only have that.
Okay, let me say something to you.
Baby.
If a guy leases a $300,000 car, that's actually kind of smart. That's probably the best way to do it.
Honestly,
and it could be a write-off on your fucking, it could be a tax write-off. That's actually smart. If a guy just bought a $300,000 car, the problem is, like, here's the issue, is like women are choosing men who do stupid shit. You are throwing money in the air at a strip club, and that is who you're choosing to be with. You're choosing a man who not only is like, he's like the peacock's tail, but it's like he's not only wasting money, he's stupid. He's also stupid. If women were smart, they'd be like, hey, I want to date the guy who actually knows how to find a tax shelter. But the women don't do that shit. I want to date the guy who actually is a perfect shot with either hand with a fucking Glock. But women don't do that shit. They don't do that at all. They don't, like, there's all these things that could make your life so much fucking better. Are you kidding me? It's like, literally, we can write off your boob job because I have the right accountant. Nope, sorry, I don't give a fuck about that. I don't really care. Just throw money in the end. Make it rain, bitch. It ain't tricking if you got it. Yes, bitch, it's still tricking. Even if you got it, you're still a trick. Sorry.
The aggression in the expression, Michael Sartain. I actually was I can't even say, I was at the club the other night throwing the monies on the girls, and I was just like, I could have literally just put this in my bag.
Yeah.
They said like, oh, you look like you're having the best time out of everyone. I was like supporting my fellow girls. I was like, shake your booty. It's like, shake that booty.
But you're not doing that on a weekly basis.
I wish I was, baby. I wish I was supporting the fellow girls. I'm like, ow, ow, ow. And I like big booties. Yeah. Back to cars. Okay. So I used to have a Tesla, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So on the way to EDC to see you guys, we got locked in a Tesla. Bro, the whole car, oh my God, 12 hours. Okay, that's why we were late.
So the battery died and then the doors wouldn't open?
Oh, no, honey, it was even worse. The windows were opening shut in, the trunk was popping open, everything was going crazy.
Oh, you had a short.
It sparked off and we got locked in the Tesla and we were like, what do we do? The tow truck came, and we were stuck in the middle of nowhere outside this really creepy house. Like, you know, the hills have eyes? Times up by 2. No, I went and checked. I have a video on my phone. I went and checked these crates because I swear I heard this girl singing from one, and this guy came out with like a tiny child, like a children's t-shirt on. Yeah, he had like children's bicycles. I was like, what have we walked into? Like, what is going on? But yeah, so Elon, I'm not happy with you, bro. Can you drop me a tweet?
Shout to Elon.
Yeah, I love you, Elon, but you let me down. It was so scary. We got locked in.
Ready to buy that Tesla?
I recorded the whole thing, actually. I had to unscrew the headrests just to get some clothes out the boot because everything's electric. So once it goes. All of your things are stuck. We had to climb out of a window. Yeah, as well. I think it's been stolen now. We had to leave it in the middle of nowhere.
Get out of here.
Sorry,
well,
Nora.
The guy who got it for you, he's probably pissed. Oh, God.
Sorry, Nora. I love
All right,
you.
shall we make this really
let's do it.
Hold on, before we get to Harrison, we have to do this. This is too good.
Do you think that men prefer a natural body or a BBL? BBL. 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 Do you prefer a natural body or a BBL?
Natural. 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 Natural body all day.
Go ahead, Amanda.
They say that, but their actions don't back it up.
My friend Dre says I have a BBS because is not quite the L.
I prefer boob jobs. I don't really care about BBLs, and I am not the least bit ashamed to say it. Boob jobs are great. I know that this is interesting. This goes back to the makeup thing also. It's like a lot of women have BBLs, and the men don't realize what they're looking at. That happens pretty frequently. Like, Amanda, I think that's what your point is?
Yeah.
The guys don't realize.
Well, they don't.
Yeah.
You think they don't? You think they don't
some-
realize that they have a BBL?
100%.
Well, in some cases, they don't realize it.
I wonder how many. I wonder,
a lot of cases.
I wonder if
Yeah.
I would be able to identify a BBL.
A good one or a small one, you wouldn't. A really good doctor or a small BBL, you wouldn't. Boob jobs, I can usually tell because there's a cleavage gap. But with BBLs, it's a little harder. And then the other thing is when girls get filler, if it's not too much filler, you can't tell. You can't. But guys, and then also same thing with makeup. If it's not too much makeup, but guys are sure that they can tell and say they like girls who are natural. That's why when we had the whole thing on with Mac and Murphy the other day, where they were showing women who had makeup on, and guys were like they preferred those women because they looked natural, even though those women were wearing makeup. Because guys can't tell. And by the way, if guys could tell, if guys could tell, there'd be no BBLs and there'd be no makeup.
Right.
That's the whole point. And when guys are like, I prefer real boobs to fake boobs, then there'd be no fake boobs. And there'd be no spearmint rhino. But I went to the rhino, and you'll never guess what I saw at the rhino. Anybody want to guess? Fake boobs. I saw them everywhere. They're fucking everywhere. And the girls are making $2,500 a night on a fucking Tuesday because guys like fake titties.
Solid investment.
And then I'm like, damn it, I knew I should have kept it.
I love my favorite comeback is like when guys will say, "Oh, those girls are fake and plastic and everything like that." I'm like, you guys wouldn't know a real boob if you saw.
And they
a real
still
boob.
would bang. Don't even lie.
Because you've been raised
Meanwhile,
on
they're
porn
double
for so
tagged.
long.
They're
You've been raised on so. What are those?
Those are real.
Those are real boobs right there. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we have a woman
Yes,
with
they
real
are.
boobs on the show.
Yeah, let's not let that happen again. What the fuck? What the fuck are we doing there? We had a streak going. We had a streak going for a while. We had a streak going for a while.
Casting fucked up.
Until like I think Katie Moore was the first girl with the real boobs to come on the show like a year ago.
Everyone thinks mine are real.
Huh?
Everyone thinks mine are real.
Yo, they are real as far as I know.
They're not real.
As far as I know, they're
But
real.
everyone thinks they're real. I think it's
How many
probably not
cc's?
only 400. I had natural double Ds.
Oh, so you're just adding on.
No, I
Enhancement.
was actually working for Playboy. I was working for Playboy when I was like 20 or 19, something like that. And I was the first girl for like 2 years to work there without getting her titties out.
How long have you had them?
Too long.
No,
They need to
how
come
old
out.
were you when you got them?
Like 21, 22. Yeah. So like last year.
How old were you?
I'm joking. So like
27.
27? Oh, so
Yeah.
you waited a little bit.
I did.
Is that after you got out of the military?
After I got out of Kingston.
That's hot. That is hot. Yummy.
Honestly, I look at it as like an investment in your future.
It really is.
Bro, you want a really great business opportunity? Somebody hit me up. I'll help you out. You lend money out for boob jobs with like fucking an interest payment, like 50% interest rate. I would sponsor that business in 2 seconds. Though you don't pay for boobs. Boobs pay for themselves.
They really do, honey.
It's titty usury, is what it is.
I've said this before. If Barack Obama had put fake boobs in Obamacare, I would have voted for that motherfucker in 2 seconds. Oh, God.
All right, here we go. Our good friend Jim.
Our good James Sexton.
I hope
Here we
you're
go.
watching, Jim.
Hey,
Here
James.
you go.
The most shocking prenup I've ever seen, which was enforceable, had a provision that said that for every 10 pounds the wife gained in the marriage, she would lose $10,000 a month in alimony. He was very concerned that she was going to become less attractive and he was going to become more wealthy. So his solution to this was in the prenuptial agreement. He wanted a clause that said if they divorced, she was going to get like $70,000 a month for alimony. But for every 10 pounds she gained from the date of marriage, she would forfeit $10,000 a month worth of alimony. Wow. And it was designed to sort of create an incentive that she would remain thin. And that was enforceable, meaning they tried to challenge and set aside that provision. And the court said, this is a disgusting provision. I don't know why you married this person, but it's enforceable. It's a contract. You signed it, and you had a right to sign it, and you agreed to these rules, and they may be ridiculous rules, but you agreed to them, and you have a right to do that. I think it's a kind of love. I think it's a form of love. Is it a form of love I'd be interested in? No, I think it's very shallow in some ways. There's something very honest about it. I mean, you can't argue with the fact that there's something very upfront about it. He was making very clear and putting in writing, here's the value you bring to this relationship. I consider your physical appearance vitally important to this relationship? And by the way, don't skip the other side of that equation. She was going to get $70,000 a month. That's a very impressive number. So I think she also understood there was a value to be attached to him as well. Is it something I would be interested in on either side of that equation? No. But do I have a right to say to someone that's not love? I don't think I have a right to say that to someone. I think that if this is an economy the two of you have agreed on, as a lawyer, my job as a lawyer is not to look, I don't look at it that way. I look at the engineering of it. So if I'm representing her in that transaction, all I could think is, okay, so we're going to want her baseline weight to be as high as possible. So I'm going to want her to have pennies in her pockets at the day we sign the prenup, because you'd have to establish a baseline, right? Because if you say gaining 10 pounds, you'd have to establish a baseline weight on the date of the marriage. So if I'm her, I want that to be as high as possible. So I'm going to be putting pennies in my pockets and eating as many cheeseburgers as I can before the weigh-in. Now, we're getting divorced. I'm going to be like a wrestler. I'm going to be in the sauna. I'm going to be sweating as much as I can. I'm going to take diuretics. I'm going to eat nothing but grilled vegetables for a week or two, I'm going to take off every ounce of clothing I can because I want to minimize my weight. This is why lawyers don't get invited to parties, because that's how we analyze problems. I didn't hear that and go, what is the nature of their coupling? I looked at it and I went, oh, I could play with that. I could, whoever I'm representing in that transaction, I could figure out a way to, kind of make that work.
Listen, Jim Sexton is too important.
Jim is a weapon.
He must be protected.
Yes.
James Sexton must be protected at all costs. He must be protected. Ladies, what do you guys think of that?
Would you sign that prenup?
Well, I do believe that it is extremely honest.
Romantic.
And reflecting back to what you were saying earlier, and men being very visual creatures, and they go for whatever is visually appealing. And when you are marrying somebody, you want to be sexually attracted to them. You want to find them attractive. And so,
would you have signed that prenup for $70,000?
But as a stipulation of your marriage contract.
I mean, I'm going to do that without that even being in question, because I take very.
There goes gravity.
I take a lot of pride in my health and my well-being for myself.
For sure.
Not necessarily for somebody else, but I just organically do that.
I love it. I would have one caveat. I would actually probably go with body fat percentage, just because I was dating a really famous fitness model before my most recent relationship, and she was really fit, so she could actually put on weight, but still her body fat percentage was
muscle weight's more
super low. Yeah. What do you think?
Do you remember that guy who he sued his wife? Do you remember that guy, the Asian guy who sued
he sued his wife because their kids were ugly, because she had so much plastic surgery.
Yes.
So this woman had so much plastic surgery that when the kids came out ugly, he sued her because the plastic surgery made her look prettier.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
That was so awesome.
Zoe, what do you think?
Zoe's like, I'm never getting married.
No, I don't speak on this topic. Fat people. I'm very fat phobic, and I'm not trying to get canceled.
Hell yeah.
I love fat. I hate fat people.
Oh my God.
But would you sign the prenup?
Would I sign it?
I
have a crazy good metabolism, so my wrists are literally the size of most guys' wieners. Same girth.
That's about right. Just she secretes Ozempic. You know what I'm saying? She pees Ozempic. That's what happens. Which one do you want?
Which one should we?
Just pick anyone. Just start playing them. Play them over. Just play them.
Back. Oh, she's got to wipe up. Wait. Come on, Madge. Get that going. There you go.
Bro, all the guys better have taken notes on what that guy did, for sure.
Yeah.
What did I miss?
Oh, you want to do Jake's body count?
Let's do it.
Yeah, do it.
Okay, here we go.
What did I miss,
Ready?
buddies?
Chop.
So you think he has bigger balls? Who do you think's got a higher body count?
What's
your body count, Jake?
Yeah, what's your body count, Jake?
Where's this kid's mother?
I've seen that one. I love it.
Jake, you think yours is higher?
I want to know who put him up to that.
Obviously, the main thing we need to discuss is whose body count is higher. Let's go, guys. Come on. I'm just kidding. What an interesting thing that men use that as a measuring stick, right?
Yeah.
It is pretty interesting. that he would come out there and do that, and neither of them would want to answer, even though most of the time those guys just do nothing but talk shit, right?
Well, yeah. I can't even believe that fight's going to take place, to be quite honest.
It's going to be probably the highest card of all time.
Yeah, I'm sure it will.
And you know the funny thing is, that I know we wouldn't get here for boxing talk, but it's like, he is good enough. Do you remember Tyson at the end of his career, the last 3 fights? It was bad. It was really bad. So it was very sad to watch. Very similar. No. Way after biting the ear. Okay. The last 3 losses when he was just getting pummeled. Right? Yeah. If you remember watching the end of Ali's career, it was very sad to watch. Sad is the only word I can use for it. I think Mike Tyson being out of the game and not taking those blows to the head for over 10 years and obviously getting on TRT. I wouldn't call it out. Obviously getting on TRT. He is doing an exhibition fight. They do not test for PEDs. Him and Jake are clearly fucking juicing up. And that's totally fine. I think Jake is almost good enough and Mike is still good enough to where this might actually be a good fight. You understand what I'm saying? Mike Tyson has forgotten more about boxing than Jake Paul's ever learned, and so I'm just kind of interested. I'm actually interested to watch his fight. I really am. Yeah. I just watched Jake knock out too many people to believe that this is just going to go nowhere. Anyway, sorry, I know that what we're talking about.
Does body count matter for guys?
Nope.
For guys.
It depends what STDs they have.
Yeah, I was just going to say
no STDs. Does body count matter?
No, as long as they're not carrying anything.
Okay, so is there a number that if he told you that would be too high? There's no number?
No, you can say 2,000 is all good as long as you haven't got too.
Yeah. Is there a number that's too low?
It's experience. Too low?
Yeah, test dummies.
Huh?
Yeah.
I like virgins and I like whores.
Okay.
Yay!
Is there a number that's too high for you?
No, I don't think so.
Is there a number that's too low?
I mean, I don't ask those questions.
Yeah.
It's one of those things, like, it really doesn't matter, and don't ask me.
Okay.
They all lie anyway.
They all lie.
You led the league and runs batted in one year? What is going on here?
No.
You had an exploration year?
Michael, what's your body count? You're not going to tell us. You're going to lie. You're going to lie.
Yeah, of course I'm going to lie. Yeah,
exactly. Men lie. So we never know that. We never know the truth to it anyways.
Yeah, but you can just tell. You can just tell by my lifestyle that it's incribly low. Like, obviously.
Yeah, we're all virgins.
You can just tell. Yeah, exactly.
Who's was that? That sounded. I love that thing. I love that thing.
Just play another one.
All right.
Yeah, I like this. This is like that keyboard.
I think it's funny how like the kid knows that like their dicks are measured by like who has a higher body count. Like you want to know how Andrew that kid is the Generation Tate. Right there.
Generation Tate. I love you, Andrew.
Oh, let's do. Oh God, this is funny. Speaking of vulnerability,
I'm on a girls trip and my husband calls me every hour. Yeah, I let the dogs out. That's good, baby. Yeah, Hadley peed and pooped. Oh, that's good, baby. Talk to you in a little bit. Okay, love you. Okay, bye, baby. Hi, baby. FaceTimes again. Hey, I'm ordering dinner. That's good, baby. Just keep amping him. That's good, baby. Leave me alone, baby.
That's so true.
She's on her way to a dick appointment.
Yeah,
Would you just let me cheat in peace, honey? Like, why do you keep FaceTiming me? I'm clearly on a girl's trip to have sex with
so
another
true.
man. Why can't you just get the fucking hint?
No, it's not that. It's like I feel like a guy feels like they have to tell us. We don't care.
No,
we don't care what you're doing.
I think you missed the girls' trip part. I think that the guy is afraid that she's going to cheat. That's why he's FaceTiming.
Oh, you think?
Yeah, because if he was just calling her, it'd be different.
Do?
But he's FaceTiming.
I thought you were just telling me.
I'm telling you that because the opposite. When I travel, a girl will call me and it's always FaceTime. It's never. They can never just talk on the phone. It's always FaceTime.
Yeah, us personally, we just fuck other girls. We don't worry about that.
Nasty asses.
That's what beta chumps do. Is they check in all the time to make. They're checking in.
Make sure the coast is clear,
the chick gets used to those calls coming in. So if she's going out getting dick on the side, I might have to turn my phone.
But it's inevitable.
Yeah.
It's inevitable. So even though the guy has that fear and he's trying to stop it, it's inevitable that she's going to leave him. It is what it is.
Why are you making this out straight from like one little like?
Oh, we know
because we know her
right.
attitude.
So she's going to this location
Okay,
this time. She's gonna bang like 10 guys.
Hold on. No. There's two opposing forces, and eventually they meet. One of the opposing forces is for some reason she felt the need to go on a girls' trip without her man, and the other opposing force
Why not? You guys do.
And the other opposing force is his jealousy. And as his jealousy increases and her attraction towards him lowers and lowers, eventually it gets to the point where the relationship ends or she ends up cheating.
What?
That's the problem.
Yeah, this is why I think you have women on the show, because it's like the men will always go for the women and then the women will always go for the man. It's like, how can you tell that he's not cheating
Because
on her?
if you're on the other side,
it could be.
Honey,
No, here's the
bunny,
thing.
my little
Because
Tesla
if you're
friend.
on the other side and you're that dude that she's coming over to, she will say the same thing in front of that guy. So
Exactly,
you
yeah,
know.
it's two-
That's how we
two
know.
both people
We don't do
do
this shit
it. So
anymore.
annoying.
But we've been to girls who are cheating on their boyfriends. It is what it is.
I live in Las Vegas. Like you just get, I'm too far
So
down.
boring.
I've been here for 13 years, living on the fucking strip. I've been here too long
He's
to
basically
believe.
a stripper.
No, I'm just saying, it's like this idea that these girls are not coming here on girls trips to cheat. And by the way, I'll tell you something else. If you have groups of girls, and they're in couples, groups are like couples. If one of the couples gets divorced in the group, the likelihood of the other couples getting divorced skyrockets. It goes up super high. So if you're on a girls trip for a bachelorette party and there's 10 girls and one of them is just going to fuck Chad Thundercock in front of the other ones, the other ones are just like, oh, I guess I'm going to do it too. I guess I'll have a little bit of... Dude, I know girls who absolutely in a million years would never cheat on their boyfriend, but they're on stage. They're on stage with Diplo at XS, and then all of a sudden, and all of a sudden they get a tap by the manager. Hey, do you want to come up to the room? We're going to grab all the girls. We're going to come up to the, and then all of a sudden, I've been in the suite there before, and everything's catered. The food is incredible, and I'm sitting there eating food, and I'm watching. All of a sudden, a girl just goes off into the bathroom, goes off into a bedroom or something, and like for no other reason, this girl would have never cheated, but she's on Molly, she's on fucking stage at XS, and then Diplo's talking to her, and then she's calling him by his first name, Wes. Let me tell you something. If your girl calls Diplo Wes, you have a fucking you are like fucking a minefield in Afghanistan in 1983. You have so many goddamn red flags, bro. Are you kidding me? If your girlfriend calls Skrillex Sonny, you got a problem. You got a fucking problem.
Or if
Okay.
your girl's going out to the club or out on a girl trip, you're cooked.
Yeah. When your girl is responding to Drake by calling him Aubrey, you have a fucking problem.
Oh, you're cooked.
Okay, you are cooked.
Do you think?
You know Sonny? You know Sonny, don't you?
Do you think, ladies?
Wes personally.
You know Wes personally? Yeah.
Let's go, baby.
Do you think?
I've got a video of him waving a red
Do you
flag.
think that girl's still with the guy after that video? Like, remember, she took the time to make that video
And it went
post it on
viral.
TikTok, and it goes viral because she was that annoyed by this.
Let me tell you something about social media, honey. She may not even have a boyfriend.
I mean, it could be.
That is true.
Well, not anymore.
But she doesn't have one now.
I don't, but it was oddly specific.
If she did it right, she still has a boyfriend. Just gaslight the fuck out of him.
Just like streams the whole thing.
I was
It's on OnlyFans. It's locked.
That wasn't even about you. It was generic.
It's locked,
Let me give
baby.
you guys watching this. Let me give you a little bit of
Terrible.
advice. If you feel like you have to check in all the time, you're fucked. You're just done. Because if that's
Like you need a cuddle.
if
You need
that's
a
where
hug.
you're at, yeah, you need a cuddle.
You need a hug,
spoon.
baby.
Yeah,
I
go-
had an ex that did
Use a
that.
little spoon, baby.
If you feel like you have to do that in the first place, you're already fucked because she's not there with you because she doesn't want to
wanna
be
be
there
with
with
you.
you. So
Go ahead.
So I had an ex that did that, and it was actually a Vegas trip. And he called me to check in quite frequently. The one time he called me, and I was in a room with a bunch of guys, and some guy was letting me wear like his Cartier sunglasses and his Rolex, and he like called me at the craziest time, and he's like, "What are you doing?" And I like snuck off to the bathroom. Like, they do check in, and it's like usually for a good reason.
Yeah. I mean, you were cheating, obviously.
I was cheating. I was just there.
No, I mean after that, after the call, you were cheating, is what I'm saying, not before, not during. You weren't cheating during the call because you respect your boyfriend. You were cheating after the call.
No, I wasn't.
Okay, good.
I got it.
I
was
plead
during
the
the call.
fifth. I plead the fifth.
I got some super chats here I got to get through. Thrive Alpha again. What are three things that could make a broke, short, fat, invisible guy attractive? Without saying, don't be broke, short, and invisible.
No, big. Go on.
Oh, okay.
Let's just-
You're asking me. It's social proof, pre-selection, higher status, really, really good networking, really good alignments with other people, really good social media, some level of creativity on your social media, and some level of competency. Whether that you are a guitarist or a plastic surgeon or whatever, any of those things can trump those things that you just said.
You didn't even say anything about like kindness.
Because you
like
won't
generous.
you won't date a guy because he's kind and he's unattractive.
Yep, just understand women.
I've
and when you
dated many
understand
men,
women,
Michael Sutton.
you'll do all those things. Just
I've dated
understand
many-
women.
It's
I've
perhaps
dated
that's
many men.
why he's invisible in the first place.
What do you mean?
Because he's kind and nice.
You're not invisible to me, baby. Subscribe. I love you. I'll give you cuddles.
Oh, how many women here have kids?
I have a dog.
Me.
No. Oh, you have kids? You
I have
children?
one.
You do?
You have one?
Cobra.
Cobras, that's a sick name.
Cobra.
I love that name.
There you go. Do you think they
Hyper
are
Kai.
proud? Do you think they are proud of you? Go Air Force.
Yeah, I think they're proud of her.
She's
yes, for
3.
sure.
Yes, I do. Absolutely.
She thinks I'm the shit right now.
Mommy got her a little Ferrari.
We have this talk. I'm the Disneyland parent.
Oh, you
I'm
are?
the fucking shit.
There you go.
You got her.
I thought Amanda was a Brazilian fitness model, Davila Fernanda.
Fernanda?
I don't know who that is.
Do I have a
I don't know, but she must be
doppelganger?
hot.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Now I'm gonna have to look that up.
She better be.
Stop capping. You like Lizzo on my left ball sack. Thank you. Whatever.
Why the left?
Why the
What
left?
happened to the right, honey?
The right one itches.
That's
Keep going.
oddly specific.
So American.
Turn on the AC so this bitch will put some clothes on. Thank you.
We're all half naked. Which one?
I don't know if they're talking about us.
He's talking about you,
That's
Michael.
oddly vague.
You're gonna allow
Yes.
this? Come on, Alpha.
Okay. And let's see. It's far better to be alone than in bad company.
Yes, baby,
Absolutely.
100%.
I got it. That's
You
I'm done.
wise. You're a
Awesome.
wise
Let's do
man.
another video.
Do you have any more? You have any?
Should be. Yeah, there's a ton of them.
You have
Hold on.
supers? You want to get to super?
I don't have any. Let's see here. We did the 3 categories of men. Oh, we did loyalty test.
Okay, that one's too good.
Yep.
Are these hers?
What is that?
It's a thong. It was in your closet.
That's not possible.
Well, whose are they?
Nobody's, because it's impossible.
Impossible what? That someone would leave them, or you'd forget? Or that I'd find them?
Impossible because I've been faithful. Which closet?
Which closet?
This is insane.
You're denying this.
Absolutely. The only woman who's been in this place since I moved in is the landlady, and she couldn't wear that as a wristband.
Wow.
Look, I swear to you. Claire, I swear on all things good and true, I have no idea who they belong to. And the fact that you don't believe me, the fact that we've been through everything that we've been through, and that you still don't trust me on this is quite frankly disturbing.
Yeah. Well, in that case, I'll put them back on.
They're yours.
You passed.
You're gaming me.
I just needed to hear you say it.
He's getting good head tonight.
You're that upset.
Yeah, I think so.
Well, he should make her dreams come true and fuck another bitch.
Amanda, would you ever do something like that? Wow, that's oddly. That's taking a long time to figure that out.
Would I? No.
No.
That's some Margaret Robbie shit.
What do you think?
No. That's some Margaret Robbie shit right there.
What do you mean? Why?
Depends how they're gonna take it. Like if they're gonna be, or like it's kinky. Like, no. Yeah.
I've
Who?
done it.
You've done
I've
it?
A
You
loyalty
have,
test?
though.
I've done
You've
it.
done the loyalty test.
How so?
What did you do?
Shit like that, like eyelashes or like just something
shit.
weird. Like I'm just like
tampon.
I'll go buy like some short ass eyelashes that obviously don't belong to me, and I'll be like, "What the fuck is this?" And like if they say something, they're like, "I don't know, probably from the bitch before you." I'm like,
"Oh,
okay."
She's trying to get that
I'm
makeup
like-
sex.
Yeah, so
Trying to get that makeup sex.
Again, her man has the correct answer. Whenever I guess I've had that happen to me before, and I was like, yeah, the girl I was just fucking right before you
Agree
got
and
here.
amplify.
Like when
Yes,
you went to
agree
the
and
bathroom
amplify.
5 minutes ago, I just had sex with a girl, and she just came out and she left.
you do
Whatever
that.
this weird thing is that you're making up that that I have here.
Yep, tell her to join.
You have actually done that.
Of course, I've
you
done
said
it.
that to me.
Did I? Did I say that to you once?
Yeah.
What were we saying about
Good
those?
times.
What were we saying about those Twinkies out there? They're so old that you and I were going out.
They were sweating.
They're like,
They were growing new
Yes.
Twinkies.
Wait, y'all dated?
No, man, I neither confirm nor deny. Let's just say we knew each other a decade ago.
Long time ago. Back in the day.
Do you not like see how like fucking psychologically manipulative that is? Like to fucking.
Of course it is. I mean, that's the point. But she can get away. But why is that? Why is that? Because in this relationship, she feels like she has the power and also the privilege to be able to do something like that. Right, that's the issue, and that's the whole point,
Well,
right?
honestly, the guy, I don't know what fucking movie that was from, but anyways,
I've seen it, and they were both cheating.
Yeah. Is that what it's about? Yeah, because I need the context here. But if it's just like based on what that one clip is, like you're right, that guy should have leaned into it.
Yes.
It's just, it was from the 10th girl I
you mean
fucked
number
last
10?
night, of course.
Yeah.
You know,
Number
oh,
47.
God. Becky's
Number 47?
It's like, look, whose name is on stitched in the back? That you like, that, you know, that it should have been something like that.
Oh, baby, give
Agree
those
and
back to me. I
amplify.
got to give them back to her.
Yeah,
for sure.
That should have been.
I'm like, they're
that should have been
mine.
done. Oh, jeez. This is
I
a
was
good.
gonna be
I
like,
like
they're
this
mine.
one.
You guys ready?
I like
Ready?
this.
Ready?
All right,
Everybody,
okay.
let's watch this.
Let's
Okay,
go.
you guys ready to rock out? This is good.
I'm looking for a man in finance with trust fund. 6'5", blue eyes.
Okay, wait. Why'd she kill this?
We got to go ahead and make something.
I'm looking for a man in finance. Just like.
It's only right to make this as racy as possible.
Too much tequila.
I want this guy to make some music.
Oh, I love this guy. Wait for the drop.
I'm looking for a man in finance. Just like 6'5", blue eyes.
You would totally get up and jump at fucking Zoom if this came on. You would. You would.
You play the other 6'5" and blue eyes video. I gave you 2 of them.
Oh, did you? I think I only got the one.
I put that on my playlist immediately when I heard it.
I am trying to lift up with you.
Fucking genius.
Michael, did you hear that at EDC
I was like doing my makeup on my way here. I was like,
I'm going to look back with you blue eyes.
Oh, was that the original that came from?
Yeah, no, the other one, there's actually a guy who's 6'5" with blue eyes.
Give me the link to that.
Hold on a second. I'm sending this to you right now. And
I didn't even know there was another one to that one.
There's another one?
The original. 6'5". You know you would start jumping up on it if that came
I would,
on.
but I drank too much tequila. I need a wee. So I'd share that with you all.
There you go. You can go. Okay, here we go. Wait,
Take the
before you go,
microphone.
here we go. Let's see if I can get this one
Don't
going.
make me laugh too much.
Put it up on the screen, please.
As a 6'5" man with blue eyes who works in finance, I can tell you unequivocally, you will never date a man like me, a man like us. Because men like us, who are blessed enough to be very tall, very wealthy, with beautiful blue eyes, we would never date a woman who is looking for a man. We only date women who don't have to look for a man, who have never looked for a man in their lives. They're the kind of women who, when they do rarely become single, there is a queue of blokes above 6 foot tall, earning at least 8 figures a year, lined up around the block, just waiting to take them for a coffee.
Waiting.
And so I'm afraid, ladies, and anybody else posting this song, you are not going to make it.
He definitely put that suit on to get in the car and make that video.
You are not going
Just
to
saying.
make it.
Nobody wants you,
That's what it
baldy.
was. That's like that trend where they're like,
Get a hair
we don't
transplant,
want her.
maybe.
All right, here we go. How tall do you need your man to be?
Over 6 feet.
Okay, 6 feet. How about you?
What are we talking about? Height?
Yeah,
I
height.
don't know. Oh, okay, that height. Yeah, like 6 foot's good. I've dated short guys too. I love short guys.
What's the shortest you'll go, honey?
We love you, short guys.
Probably about 6 feet because I want to comfortably wear 4-inch heels.
Yeah, how
Nice.
tall are you? You're
Nice.
hot. Like, how tall are you?
5'8".
Okay.
So I want to wear 4-inch heels
Beautiful.
and have my man be taller.
Okay, so my question, my question:
Ideally.
what percentage of the population do you think is over 6 feet tall?
I don't know, like 10 to 15%.
It's like 14%. And then how much do you want your guy to make?
We had this conversation.
Yep.
What did I say last time? Like 100,000.
100,000. What do you want your guy to make?
Okay, so I learned, I was like, oh, I don't care. And then I looked after men, and now I'm like, I
You
want them
care.
to be
Yeah, you want them to be. She wants them to be generous and broke somehow.
Yeah,
I don't understand how that works.
No, I didn't. No, I never cared about. You know me. For 10
I know
years.
that you
I've never
don't
like
want them.
that.
You don't care.
Never
You want
been
them to be
like that.
generous, but they're broke at the same
Never
time.
ever been like that, but now I've learned my lesson. Now you got to be making some money to look after me,
Okay.
like a little princess.
How much? How much do you think a guy should make?
$100 billion.
You're asking me, and I almost moved into a treehouse.
Okay.
At one
Don't look at
point.
me like that, Tristan.
Girl, what?
Like actually
Don't
picked
you
up my
judge
life
me.
and moved into a treehouse. So I guess
you get it.
So
My soul sister right there.
I don't know. I mean, if I'm living in America and I want to live comfortably, I don't know, like $400,000-$500,000.
Okay. So
$100 billion. The rich ones are stingy.
like
They are. The rich ones
$500,000
are
a year.
so stingy. That's why they're rich.
What percentage?
Yeah. What percentage of men do you think make $500,000 a year?
Top 1%.
It's about top 2%.
She's like, she wants the 1% that shit.
So you understand? Like it's not 2%.
We're totally laughing now. This shit's got real.
It's not 2%
Rip.
plus 14%. It's 2% times 14%. Right. So it's 2% of 14%. That's the men you have to choose from.
Okay.
Did you guys know that Michael has a son?
That's why I'm still single.
Wait, what? You're just spilling tea.
She gets it. Beautiful. All right, awesome. I just thought that was interesting. All right, cool. Did you have any other one you want to do? Harrison Butker.
Yeah. Oh boy, that's going to be a good one. Here
You guys ready? You guys ready to cook?
This is going all around the net.
Today, congratulations on an amazing accomplishment. You should be proud of all that you have achieved to this point in your young lives. I want to speak directly to you briefly because I think it is you, the women, who have had the most diabolical lies told to you. How many of you are sitting here now about to cross this stage and are thinking about all the promotions and titles you are going to get in your career? Some of you may go on to lead successful careers in the world, but I would venture to guess that the majority of you are most excited about your marriage and the children you will bring into this world. I can tell you that my beautiful wife, Isabel, would be the first to say that her life truly started when she began living her vocation as a wife and as a mother. I'm on this stage today and able to be the man I am because I have a wife who leans into her vocation. I'm beyond blessed with the many talents God has given me, but it cannot be overstated that all of my success is made possible because a girl I met in band class back in middle school
Really?
would convert to the faith, become my wife, and embrace one of the most important titles of all, homemaker. For the ladies present today,
that's it.
Wait, what did you say?
Wait,
He is,
he just ruined it.
he is getting
Homemaker.
homemaker. He is getting absolutely eviscerated online for
He
doing
should
this.
be.
Why?
He built it
Yeah.
up so much. We're like, oh, I'm like getting tears. I'm like, this guy. And then he's a homemaker. And I'm like, what? What in the hell? What in the hell?
Just the label.
Yeah,
The homemaker.
It sounds like a thing you buy for your kitchen. It is a thing you buy for your kitchen.
So when women are surveyed that are in the workforce,
You meant to
would
say dishwasher.
Yeah. When women are surveyed in the workworkse and they're
This is why he has
asked, would
plastic
you
cutlery.
rather be able to? It's not plastic anymore. Would you rather be able to stay at home and be a homemaker rather than working this 9-to-5 job? 83% of women said that they would prefer to stay at home.
Absolutely.
Yes.
I've done that before.
Right. But,
And
but women are horribly offended by what he just said.
Why?
Because
Yeah.
because he's saying that women have been lied to in this belief that they should not be a homemaker. And do you understand why? Like, do you understand why? Like, okay, so what we go over, like, after World War II, we started bringing a lot more women into the workforce, which increased productivity while leaving labor rates of how much you pay your labor the same. And so when we do that, we double productivity. But here's the thing: once we get into like a credit card revolution, and once we get off of fiat currency, we have this issue where it's like, look how much productivity we can have if she buys a bunch of shit and he buys a bunch of shit, rather than her being dependent on him. So let's do everything we can to break up this idea of a family, because if we do so, we get two people running up these credit card bills instead of one. We double the level of consumerism. Does that make sense? And so we do that. And so what we should do is we should sell that idea. I've got an idea. Let's use Lizzo. Let's use Cardi B. Let's use as many people.
We love you, Cardi.
Let's use Megan Thee Stallion, and then we'll sell them this idea that you don't want. Like the idea. The problem is this: if you don't want to get married, don't get married. My issue is that now women are shamed for like on TikTok.
Homemaker.
They're on TikTok and they're like, "These are the sandwiches I made for my husband." And in the comments, it's like you're setting women's liberation back 50 years by making this video.
Not at all. If you love a guy, you want to serve them. You naturally becomes right. You
It's in our
naturally want to serve them, massage their balls, and all that shit.
We are
but the
nurturers,
thing
we are
is like,
givers.
yeah, he's giving this whole big speech, and you're waiting for this title. He's like, she earned the title of homemaker, and you're just like, bro, like wife or something or queen.
But what
or
he's saying-
or like,
he's-
this is all because of you, Julia. Like
He's saying,
he's like, you are my homemaker.
Would you rather be?
Like,
Would you rather be the title be ball massager?
Yeah, at least it means something, bro. Like homemaker, she just lives at home. That's all she's good for. She just lives at home.
I've actually been
Cooking,
seeing a new
cleaning.
wave of girls who are on this trad wave. I mean, you've been posting about it nonstop. So
I can't
there is somewhat of a turnaround point, but it's not genuine. So there's going to be a lot of girls who will finesse guys like this.
Because it's the new hotness in an election cycle,
mean?
and everybody wants it.
What is that? What do you mean?
Well, a lot of girls starting to notice that there's a lot of guys who are fans of this space and guys who are fans of what this guy said, or guys like this.
And they usually have beards like that.
Yeah. And a lot of these girls are smart enough because they're starting to realize that these guys are also simps in their own way for these girls.
No, he's lovely. That's love. Just because everyone's so desensitized now. That's just romantic. It's just a terrible title.
It's love right up until he says
homemaker.
Yeah, but what he's doing is he's not saying wife and mother. He's just trying to put the two words
That
together.
sounds like a horror movie.
Yeah, like I just want to say fuck you to all the women in history that were like, I want to work. Yeah. Thank you. Now I have to fucking work.
Now we have to work.
Thank you for this. Now I have to fucking work.
That's the
Please clip this.
That's the
Please
reason.
clip this.
That's the reason why this is going viral right now. Is because
Yeah.
this guy basically went up, used the term homemaker, and of course,
I would happily be a homemaker.
because everybody sees
It's
this.
not an award.
Women see this and they think, oh, he's a caveman. He's trying to go back to the 1950s.
No.
Father knows best. Leave it to be June Cleaver shit.
Stop
And
being
the
insecure.
problem is like all he's doing is sort of reminding people of sort of this idyllic, romanticized era. That it's interesting to me to see that is so hated still, like right now. Is the idea that this guy would be like, well, using the term homemaker, but the thing is, everybody was with him right up until that point. They were like, oh,
Yes.
he because he's like he's deferring to her. I have such love. He almost cried, right? It's like he's vulnerable. He's vulnerable in public here. And then the whole thing fucking drops when he says homemaker, right? And so all of that, good, juju that he gets from building her up, all that goes away with one fucking word. And all it is, because it sounds like enslavement. It sounds like
It really does.
It sounds like
bro.
submission. It sounds like
That's so hard.
It sounds like imprisonment. And it's like, at what point do we get to that?
What drove people crazy though was the idea that he said in the beginning, women have been lied to.
Yeah.
That's where they're having an issue with. Because the women who are doing the lying, like Joy Behar and Whoopi Goldberg on The View, they're the ones doing the lying. And so they're the ones being called out by the beginning of that statement.
Oh, everyone's being lied to, even guys.
Sure.
On that shit.
We're all
Everyone's
just
being
a
lied to.
generation of liars.
Okay, so my issue is
Sucks ass.
if you want to be a woman that works, there's nothing wrong. I'm not saying that that's wrong. What I'm saying though is if I can keep telling you that you'd probably be happier not doing that, that shouldn't be offensive to you, because if I were to show you study after study that shows that that's the case, why are you so defensive about your position that you couldn't even accept that might be true? Does that make sense?
Yeah, I would just say be careful for the guys who are wanting these things, because there's a lot of girls who are gonna say that they want these things, but it's after they were a hoe. So be super fucking careful.
True.
I think
Wow, wee wow, little man. So wait, hold on a minute.
Say that again.
Wow, wee wow, little man.
No, he's right though, because
no.
exactly, living fucking proof.
Yeah.
Like I went through like a fucking hoe phase, and then it's like, then you want
beef with
then
her,
you
not
want
me.
to-
Beef with her.
We're okay.
But then you already lived in the streets. I already lived in the streets.
Yeah,
Now-
still living
exactly.
in
You
the streets.
both have.
So that's what I'm saying. I lived in the streets.
Yeah,
Now,
men have a
I
higher
want to come
body
back
count,
home.
honey.
I want to come back home.
Yeah.
And now these men are like, but you were out in the streets. So now
So
you're
were
not,
you,
You're
Daffodil.
not, you're not a homemaker wife material. And I'm like, no, but I am. Who am I trying to convince, them or myself?
What do you guys think about that?
I think there's a lot of guys who like have that problem with you, like saying, "Oh, well, you're for the streets, right?" And then suddenly now it's like you have
And
a
you
chance.
wasn't?
How old are you?
25.
25. Okay.
And a half.
So usually this.
Used and abused at 25,
Usually-
apparently.
Of course, they're gonna give you shit for your tattoos anyways. But no, I was gonna say is like what's funny to me is like it's one extreme or the other. It's either you've got to be some virgin wife from the Dutch Amish country in Pennsylvania somewhere, or else you got you got to find some like they want a virgin bride, and these guys are just these asocial kind of like autistic children in the first place. Or you're a used up, ran through hoe bag.
Yeah, it's a paradox. Stefan Arno talks about it. It's guys want the virgin whore. That's what,
Okay,
it is what it is.
A whore is a terrible, terrible term. Like, for instance, especially depending on how old you are. Like, for instance, I've probably had like a boyfriend like slept with one guy or something, maximum 2 a year. But then when you add it all together, it actually looks really bad, as opposed to a guy who's out every weekend and then they're like banging everything in sight. And then they're like, but
you know
now
most
I
guys
want a
can't bang
virgin
everything in sight. You know that, right?
girlfriend. I want a virgin girlfriend. I'm like, well, go get your pussy done, okay? And then just forget what happened.
You know most guys can't bang everything in sight. You know that, right?
They actually can. And then if we get pregnant,
Go tell that to my ugly exes that cheated on me. They'd be out there. They just be with the ugly one.
If they look like your boyfriend now, I will give them a call. Sorry.
Well, reality is you still attract him.
He's cute.
So the thing is, girls want mastery over a man that cannot be mastered. And guys want a girl who is a virgin whore, a girl who has not had a lot of experience, but she knows what she's doing.
Okay, I'm going to send so many women your way.
You were asking before what I think about Zoe's situation, and the answer is it doesn't matter. There are going to be waves and waves and waves. I mean, she's got a man now, but there's going to be waves of men who are totally and completely, Zoe, come into my life. No questions asked.
Yeah.
Not even worry about it. And it's only going to get. Things are only going to go further in that direction.
What is it? Judge, and you too shall be judged.
Like I said before, I like to say things work or don't work.
Yes.
And
Judge, and
the
you
idea
too shall
of being
be
with a woman
judged.
who has a high body count, do I think that works? From the data I've seen, it doesn't seem to work. But that's just what I've seen. But I'm in a situation where I can choose who I'm with, whereas most men, I would say 85% of men cannot.
But you're about 100 girls every year.
Well, the stats don't lie either.
Wait, say it again?
Honey.
What'd you say?
In the 10 years I've known you, you're around hundreds of women 24/7.
That doesn't mean I've slept with hundreds of women every year.
Just lining up outside the apartment.
Michael, this is not defamation.
Yeah, honey, you're going to be okay.
Not every year. Not every year.
Every month.
Ideally, I have a question. Ideally, what is a woman's body count that
body count
is acceptable to you?
Nice.
For me, it's not acceptable. It's not the thing about acceptable or not acceptable. I'm just bringing up data. The one the GSS did where girls, when they separated women who cheated and who didn't cheat, and the women who didn't cheat had like 3.9 sexual partners in their life. The women who did cheat were like at 8.9. So it's 230% more sexual partners for women who cheated. I'm not judging. Like I think 5 is fine, 10 is fine. It just depends on like what where. By the way. There's another study that.
Who are these women in Jesus?
There's another study from the Peterson Academy.
Oh, we're cooked. All the guys.
There's another study from the Peterson Academy where it was like once a woman had 20 sexual partners, she had a 17% chance of being happy in a marriage.
Did you look on DuckDuckGo or Google for this shit?
I just saw this article. It said that only 21% of men by age 50 have had more than 15 sexual partners.
Yes, that's about right.
Yeah.
More than 15. Guys,
15,
you men are
15.
terrible, bro. How old are you, Michael Sartain?
46.
Okay, and on the average, how many women have you slept with per year?
0 on average.
Bullshit.
If you were to average out all the years, there's a lot of zeros in there. When I was 1, when I was 2, when I was 3, when I was 4, when I was 5, when I was 6, there were zeros.
And you're 21. How many is your body count?
Oh, I'm a virgin, man.
I knew it.
I'm going to answer your question real quick because
Hey,
I have had this discussion. We've actually broke down the numbers on Fresh and Fit where we were talking about like at what point, like how many, what's the body count where the threshold is, where it's like if it's going to be over 1, then what's the limit? Because usually it's like 0 is like ideal because you're only with one person and like it's usually a religious kind of thing, right?
You can be reborn
so
through Jesus.
if you go past that, it's 6 is what it is. According to anything past 6, the divorce rate skyrockets and like marital unhappiness and everything.
That's interesting.
Yeah, that's
Thank you, bald guy.
Now, personally, me, it's a different story.
Wait, so you had an issue with 6? Go ahead.
No, I don't have an issue with 6 at all. But you want a low body count, but then you also want somebody that's going to suck your dick like a porn star.
No, you can train them.
So are you going to do that?
You can train them.
That's true.
You can train them.
Okay.
So you're a dick sucking trainer? Is that what you're saying?
You can show them what you like.
He's a dick sucking.
Yeah, the issue is this. Like, I hear women. I hear women use this example all the time. Like the skill set that you need in order to satisfy your man is so easily attainable for any woman to grasp versus the likelihood of you cheating if you've been with 90 guys. Like it's just like the two do not measure out. They're not anywhere near the same. That's the difference.
I've been with more than 6 men.
Well, it's fine.
and
But have you been with any women?
Loyal.
Have you been with any women?
Yes.
Okay, so you lose one for every woman you've been with. Do you understand how it works? So by the way, this is something we do in Access Vegas. If you've been with 6 men and 6 women, you're a virgin. We count that as 0. You lose a body every time you're with a woman.
One off the list.
Okay. I have to do the math.
Okay, cool. Let me know later. I'm interested. All right, here we
I'll
go.
let you know tomorrow.
Yeah. Beautiful.
Since we're on this topic, I had this. Well, I'll bring it up. Let's watch this one real quick, and I'll bring that one back up.
I saw this really cute guy at the grocery store the other day, so naturally I followed him to the checkout counter, and when he gave the cashier his credit card, I peeped it to see what his name was. And then I Googled him and found his social media profiles, and I was able to tell that he was single. So I went through his friends list, and I found his mother's page. And then I looked through his mother's page, and I saw that she was a member of this book club that's in my area. So I sent a request to join the book club. So I went to the book club meeting, and I met his mom there, and we bonded over some books that we both liked. And she just thought I was so nice, and I brought it up randomly in conversation that I was single. And she let me know that she had a son that was single also that lived in the area, and maybe it would be cool for us to get together and chat sometime. So I gave her my number, which she gave to her son, and this morning he texted me and asked if I'd like to get together this weekend and do something. So I guess we're going to go on a date. I'm really excited.
That is
Wholesome or
absurd.
creepy?
Go ahead.
It is absurd.
Yeah, what? Keep going. Explain.
That is way too much effort. It's almost psychotic.
I agree.
Yeah.
And you want to know what the funny thing is about the same girl? I guarantee you there are tons of dudes in her life who like her very much and she pays no attention to. And then when she finds a guy that she does like, she puts that level of effort into it.
Bro, I feel like there's more guys on this
that's
planet
valid.
who do that shit.
Oh, of course. Well, guys have to do that. Yeah, of course.
Emotional damage.
Holy.
Yeah, emotional
But that is next level.
Yeah.
That's just
Like,
genuine.
how
Were you
much
impressed?
time do you really have?
You've actually done that.
She must be
not to that
must be a hoe.
extent. Not to that extent. Like, I've been in airports and like they're like checking in and like they'll like say the guy's name and I'll be like, oh, he's fine, and like that kind of thing, and then go find their social medias from like hearing them say their name checking in. But like finding the mom on like whatever and joining the book club, like that's crazy. But like
it's romantic.
I thought I was crazy with
I
like,
gotta
the
talk to my
airport
mom.
thing, but-
Actually, now that I've seen this, I gotta say, Mom, has anybody hit you up recently about our book club? Is anything?
Wow.
Any girls come up to you try to work out with you at the gym?
What's
Yeah.
the craziest thing a guy's done to you, like to get your attention?
You didn't hire a skywriter or something?
You're No, I don't know. I'd have to think about that.
Mine had me cyber hacked on every platform.
Because he loved you so much?
No, you should do that.
What's the
I'll
crazy?
do it
what's
for
the
you,
crazy-
Zoe.
What's the craziest thing, Zoe?
Yeah, come on, Zoe. Give it to me.
I don't know. Guys do crazy shit with me all the time, but like I encourage it.
But hold on.
You definitely do.
At the same time?
What's Bo
Like
done?
all the guys at the same time?
Yeah, like I
the same damn time.
I don't know, like for like my first attention or like after the fact.
First attention.
First attention? I don't know, nothing crazy. Nothing crazy.
Not like that.
It's like midway through the relationship, they're like, "I need your attention back, please." Showing up at my house with rifles. I'm like, "You have my fucking attention. What do you need?"
The police. You need the police, Zoe.
Did you go at it with him anyways?
I might have.
Just bring your gun.
I was like, "Please."
Do you
hold it to my
like
head.
when guys are like super obsessed?
I do, to a degree.
Not like you. You remember the program?
Like, sorry. To a degree, like I want to know that you're interested in me.
Yeah.
Not, okay, I'm going to talk to you and then I'm not going to talk to you for a couple of days and hope that builds some suspense. Like that's just not the game for me. Like because us women, we have this small little window where we're in our softness and you want to keep us there. We want to stay there.
Yeah.
We want to stay there, but then you do certain things and we let it slide. We're like, oh,
we end up men.
We'll let it slide, and then something else happens, and then something else, and it just piles up, and then all of a sudden we're out of our soft girl era, and you can't get us back into that window. But we want to stay there, so it's like
we want to be cute and furry.
Yeah, be romantic.
We want to be cuties.
Be romantic. Tell us that you like us. Do kind gestures.
Make women women.
In the beginning or after you've been seeing it for a while?
Both.
Both?
Yeah,
okay.
so true.
Yeah, absolutely. Keep it consistent.
Stop the bullshit.
Don't just do it until you get me
He's
and then
shaking his
drop
head. Why are you
off.
shaking your head, little man? What's
Flowers.
happening over here?
Go ahead. Go on.
What's happening over here, baby?
Yeah, come on.
Trick them. Logan's like, trick them until you fuck them and then do whatever you
He's like my
want.
long lost son.
Yeah.
I kind of want to adopt him. He's like my
If
long
you are
lost
not
son.
creating the
Son,
drama
is
as the
that you?
guy, the girl's gonna create the drama. It is what it is. Because girls need that drama. Girls need that roller coaster
passion,
of that. There you
not
go.
drama.
You guys
No
want the makeup
drama,
sex.
no
you guys
drama,
want it.
passion.
It is what it is.
We do.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's the
so
difference.
and everything
More
is just
energy.
flat. The guy shows up the same. Dude, it becomes boring. It becomes predictable. And your guys' pussies are like, okay, this is
Perfect
the same
is
shit.
You guys, your guys' pussies, they
do you
talk
guys
to you?
also not want?
Yeah, pussies talk. Come on.
You guys also want to make up sex?
No. We want a beautiful woman to just
Original.
fucking make our lives peaceful.
No.
Because I'm trying, bro. I am
it
trying to get
feels
that.
so
I am
much
trying to
better.
get that fucking
So
bag, and I need somebody to just not make my life hard. Make my penis hard, not my
Not
life
my
hard.
life.
That's
if
what I
you're,
want.
if you're a busy guy and you have options,
No
there's going to be
shit,
times
bro.
where you do not text
Oh,
back. And
cannot-
there's going to be times where you don't
Of
call her.
course.
Cannot
And there's gonna
agree
be times where you don't
more,
do this
bro.
or
If
that.
you
Yeah.
just like understand my work, my workout, and my sleep, I am trying to get this business to fucking 8 figures, and I have 40 people who work for me.
But
I do
men
not
do
have
that
time
too.
for this shit. I don't
Men
have. I
do
don't
that.
need any drama. And maybe it's because I'm 46, but I don't need any fucking drama. And what you're saying is correct. I don't
Yeah.
use the word drama. I use the word tension.
Correct.
Yeah.
There needs to be some tension. I need to be able to pull back a little bit.
Yep.
So that you show me that you like me, and vice versa. She can turn it into drama, but I'm not going to turn it into drama. There is going to be some tension because it's. But, dude, I did 11 hours of calls yesterday. 11 straight fucking hours. I
You need a
peace.
secretary, bro.
You're not lying. I need
Hello,
5
Michael
of me.
Sartain's
I
phone.
need someone out there want to AI me so they can answer my calls. I'd appreciate it.
Phone. How can I help
Adding
you?
to what you just said, and like women will, because we're emotional, we will create a little bit of drama, but there is something so fucking sexy about a man that can recognize that and recognize that when we're being extra.
And it just fucks you. Yep.
No,
But
and
it's with you in
like,
sex.
And just calls you.
maybe that after the
Calls you
fact.
out for it.
But calls you out and like soothes you and is like, hey, like I know what's like, tell me what's really going on.
Yeah.
And creates that safety box, and then you can have sex.
My son,
Awesome.
my son is about to punch me.
And then you can have the sex that you thought you weren't going to have because you're going to break
I
up.
love Zoe's like, why are you wasting time? Let's just fuck. Why are you wasting my time?
Why are we not getting to
I
that
really
part?
have a man's mentality. I'm just like, I'm so horny. Why are we doing this?
Why are you talking?
But you know what? When we
Why are you telling me how you feel about me?
That's
Let's go.
actually, you know what though? When we are like this, that makes them very feminine. They become the ones like wanting drama, and you're like, leave me alone.
Yeah.
Isn't that true?
That I'm in the corner like, we just
Go
like, boom, boom,
away.
let's go.
Yeah, I just think the difference is if you have ever been with a dude who legitimately has like the world on his shoulders with other things and is successful, we just anything but the drama.
But that's
man.
why you need
Anything.
communication.
Anything but the drama.
And guys
I'll
can-
say,
yeah.
when I
Guys
was
can
22,
replicate it.
I was down with a little bit of drama. Dude, at 46, bro, if you get in the way of my sleep, I'm sorry. No disrespect, but you can please fucking leave. I love you. Leave right now or go to sleep now. I've got so much work to do tomorrow. That's it. Let's just respect that.
Yep.
If you don't respect that, let's just kindly, mutually just fucking move on because this is not working.
Yep.
And a lot of girls are like, oh my God, you want to go to bed because you don't like me. And I'm like, if you can't hear, that means you're not hearing me. You're not hearing me. You don't understand. If I'm like the lifestyle that you like that I can provide comes from the work that I do. And if you get in the way of that work, that means you don't respect me.
Yep.
That's what that means. It means you don't. And if I have to tell you 6 times that the reason why I can't be there at this time is because I have to work, if you make me repeat myself, that means you don't respect me and my work. That's the issue. And if you want me to choose between you and my work, that tells me you really don't love me and you don't respect me. Yep. But if you are an asset to that, then that's the woman who gets the baby and the fucking ring and the house.
Yep.
When you can be an asset to the fact that I'm going to build an empire, and you want, it's almost like my wife is going to be an executive in my company. Not formally an executive, but she's going to be like an extra. She's going to be the chief peace officer, CPO, chief peace officer. When she can do that, then that's when you get the ring. 100%. You want a ring the size of a mortgage? No fucking problem if you bring me peace.
Yep. Exactly.
I don't want peace. I want problems. Sorry, I just really love that meme. I really love that.
I mean, that's why pickup bars teach guys how to just ignore girls for a few hours and create that drama. But I hate that
It's
shit.
stupid.
I've just become actually busy.
Right?
Be actually high value. Do
So
some cool shit.
premeditated, right?
Yes, bro. Go travel. Go do shit.
Have
Hang out with your
your
boys.
job be the other
Yeah.
woman.
Yes, bro.
Yes.
Like have a fucking life. Like lot of these pickup artists that teach guys how to do this shit. Yes, it works, but you could kill two birds with one stone by also being just successful.
Yeah.
It helps, like, if you're trying to develop this I don't give a shit attitude, it helps if you really don't give a shit, you know, instead of just trying to come up with some bullshit that, you know, as a front for it. I got one last thing before we run out of time here. I got this last one. I wanted to run this one by you. This is from Dr. Jeffrey Miller. I think you're familiar with him. All right. So this is from this is from a recent video of his. I'm not going to play the video, but I'm just going to read this quote so you can get an idea. And I don't know why Jeffrey Miller has such a hard-on for red pill guys, but here we go. Red pill guys chase cues of sexual fitness. They might have sex with apparently fertile young women who are on contraception and not having babies. From a Darwinian point of view, what these guys are doing is no different from sitting at home and watching pornography. Ergo, masturbating.
Hold on. From a Darwinian point of view, he is correct.
Yes.
From a results-oriented point of view. If ladies, let me explain to you, if your genetics had any conception of what contraceptives were, they would look at it like it was lava. Does that make sense? Your genes, like a condom, would look like acid because you'd be like, no, we want to spread your genes. But you don't, because you don't want to be saddled with a child right now because you got that new Ariana Grande shit coming out and you want to go get your Starbucks coffee. You do not want a baby right now. So that's the reason why you do this. Your genes have no concept of contraceptives. He's correct. Now, I want to bring up, it's Miller, right? Or Wilson?
Jeffrey Miller.
Jeffrey Miller. I want to bring up Jeffrey Miller for a different reason.
Go on,
Jeffrey. So in that 3-hour video on evolutionary psychology that Municat did, she keeps going after Jeffrey Miller. And the reason why is because his personal life is very much low-hanging fruit. And I want to express this.
Just so everyone knows, he's almost an evangelist for polyamory.
He is yes. Okay. Yeah. Now, while he is an evangelist for polyamory, he's not saying that his evolutionary psychology studies have led him to polyamory. He personally likes polyamory. And what's happened is it's the same kind of situation. Anything I don't like causes school shootings. And because this video is about evolutionary psychology, anything that any evolutionary psychologist does that I disagree with is now dogma and scripture in evolutionary psychology, and now something that I can use to attack evolutionary psychology. In this video, Municat incorrectly uses Dr. Jeffrey Wilson's proclivity for polyamory as a prescription for men to be polyamorous because evolutionary psychologists are saying to do so. And David Buss never fucking said that, and neither did William Costello. So in this case, that's where these things are extremely wrong. And so,
let me state for the record that because a long time ago, I got into it with Jeffrey Miller because I know his quote unquote wife, Diana Fleischman, who I still talk to, by the way, because she's in the behavioral psychology like me. However, Jeffrey Miller blocked me long ago because I fucking called him out on the polyamory thing because he is an evolutionary psychologist.
Fine, it's fine that he's polyamorous.
No, but here's the thing. Again, if that's what you're gonna, if that's what you're gonna, let your freak flag fly. I don't care. But the thing is that if you're going to be an evolutionary psychologist and you're going to talk about polyamory, you can't ignore the conditions of jealousy and what are the evolutionary reasons for jealousy and mate guarding.
What he's saying is he's evolved past jealousy.
Yes,
and if that's what he believes,
he's so fucking intelligent.
If that's what he believes,
it's only for highly evolved people like Jeffrey Miller.
That's totally fine. And by the way, I love the book Mate. I actually really enjoy the book. I think there's a lot of, especially in the second half of the book, there's a lot of great advice that's in that book. But I would not be polyamorous. Now, here's the issue. Again, I'm going to go back to the video that Municat made where she went over this concept of monogamy. So evolutionary psychologists say that monogamy is not the natural state for human beings. And so therefore, because it is not X, then it must be Y. Therefore, because monogamy is not the natural state for human beings, and Jeffrey Miller is polyamorous. Therefore, all evolutionary psychologists are prescribing to you to be polyamorous and let your wife fuck multiple dudes. And so because it is not X, therefore it must be Y. No, the reality is it's somewhere in the middle. And if I were to have Municat and she were sitting right here, I would ask her, have you only been with one man in your entire life? No, that means you have multiple cases of monogamy interspersed in a lifetime of polygamy. That is the natural state for human beings.
It's a soft term.
There's a middle ground. It is not full-time polyamory. Here's the third issue I have is she quotes like Sex at Dawn and fucking Sperm Wars, which these books have been completely and totally debunked. So it's like books about evolutionary psychology and books countering evolutionary psychology are both used to counter evolutionary psychology in the fucking video that she makes. Like she can't even get her lies straight anymore. She is literally quoting Owen Cook and Kate Casey Zander as evolutionary psychologists. They are dating coaches. They're not evolutionary psychologists. Anyone who even says the word caveman is now thrown into this fucking pile of criticism. It is crazy. This is the ultimate straw man argument I've ever seen. Evolutionary psychologists are not telling you how to live your life. They are postulating and theorizing on a strategy that your ancestors used in order to be successful at replication. That is it.
Yes.
And anything else you understand.
Welcome to the praxeology of the red pill. Not the suggestions, not the advice, not the influencers.
But you guys,
just the stats. And
don't you believe in soulmates?
Oh, wait a
you
minute.
Guys. You guys.
Not only do I not believe in soulmates, I don't even believe in free will. I don't even believe in free will.
Me neither, bro.
Yes.
Okay, so, but more to the point, I wanted to address this. This is an very old criticism of the red pill. Are cads outbreeding dads? Royce hit on this in 2009, Jeffrey Miller. Okay, we've been talking about this shit for a very long time. It's not about who is breeding. It's about who is doing the fucking. God damn it. Why can you not get this through your head? Okay, it's the same thing when we're talking about like assortative mating versus hypergamy, right? It's not who is mating with each other.
Of course, Jeffrey Miller doesn't care.
Who wants to fuck who?
Right,
that's what it comes down to.
But of course, Jeffrey Miller doesn't care because he doesn't feel jealous. He's evolved past jealousy.
Yeah, of course, he's
so from his
too intellectual for
correct.
This, right.
So again, one more time, Jeffrey Miller is talking his own book, and so am I. By the way, I'm a heterosexual Protestant, so therefore I'm talking my own book too. I think probably the best way is for a man to be masculine and for a woman to be feminine. In general, if you don't want to do that, that's fine. But I know I'm talking my book. I'm from Texas and went to a Christian church. Right. I get that I'm biased towards that.
What he's doing is he's hopping on the whole TradCon thing. Right
yes,
now,
of course,
because it's hip to say women should be off of birth control, and it's hip to say you shouldn't be having sex unless for one purpose is to make babies.
Everyone's
and anything that isn't reproductive sex, that's a drug addiction.
Yes.
Literally, that's what they fucking say. And here you have a Jeffrey Miller who is a prominent evolutionary psychologist jumping on the new hotness, which is basically saying, these red pill guys are because those red pill guys have the secret sauce so that they can go fuck random bitches like with impunity, right? And it's like, no, that's not how it works. And then second of all, again, it's not about who's doing the breeding. It's about who's doing the fucking. So the amount of game and the amount of status and the amount of achievement and the amount of effort that it takes to actually pull this shit off, skyrocketing. The amount of effort and the amount of effort it takes to get one chick and then breed with that one chick, nothing.
Yeah, that's why I don't like the TradCon advice to guys. It's like, bro, you need that XP of talking to girls instead of just because he says it's equal to have sex with the girls on birth control and jerk off and watch porn. It's not equal, bro. You're getting XP. You're getting experience. Yeah. You're building confidence. But you're becoming more dominant.
The reason he brings that up and he says, if you're having random meaningless sex, it's just the same as pornography. No, it's not, dude. If you understand anything, this guy of all people, if you understand anything about male nature, you would understand how hard it is for guys to actually pull that shit
And if you understand the male brain, bro, when a guy jerks off at home, he becomes fucking depressed. When a guy goes out and he has sex with a girl, he's like, "Fuck yeah, I just did that."
Because you put in effort. You're correlating dopamine reward with effort. When you look at pornography, there's no effort, but you still get the dopamine reward. And now the dopamine reward becomes less and less and less. That's essentially what happens. Okay, so I mean, that's it. Jeffrey Miller's talking his book. I'm talking my book, and Municat's talking her book because she's politically progressive. She's a liberal, and liberals hate evolutionary psychology. But the one thing I am happy about this video is that evolutionary psychology used to be this like bastard stepchild that nobody knew about, and now it's finally made it to the mainstream. And now people can actually see whether or not some of the things are real. These lies that she says about these are not replicatable studies, that's not true. They are replicatable. There's probably more replicatable studies in that one field of psychology than almost any other field of psychology, especially when it comes to parental investment hypothesis or it comes to things like dual mating strategy. There are so many replicatable things that have happened before. And so the last thing I want to say is this. So when she talks about people making podcasts, she says, incels making podcasts. So I have bad news for you, Municat. Believe it or not, I am not involuntarily celibate, and I can prove it. And neither is Rollo. He's been married for 27 years, and neither is Myron, and clearly neither is fucking Fresh.
Yeah,
and neither is Andrew Tate. And neither is Andrew Tate, who has multiple children, and neither is Richard Cooper, and neither is MLD. none of us are incels. What you're saying is not an
Justin
opinion.
Waller most definitely
Justin
is
Waller's not an incel. What you're saying, Sterling Cooper is not an incel. What you're saying is categorically incorrect. In fact, I can't think of a single guy who started a podcast. Not David Cooley, not fucking Marquette,
Brian from whatever,
not Brian from whatever podcast. I can't think of a single one of them who doesn't get laid and have options with women. So what you're saying is categorically incorrect. It is not. It's so incorrect. It's the opposite of correct. In fact, I would challenge you to find one incel that you're talking about, because I can't think of a single one.
Well, I've just come to the conclusion that a lot of these girls online who talk shit about guys like us or guys who create content like us, the reality is they don't want guys knowing this stuff, because when guys know this stuff, they get the leverage, they get the power, and guess what? They don't have simps supporting whatever their lifestyle is.
No, instead
that's just the
being
reality.
the women.
Well,
on
no,
AI.
I've just come. That's just the reality. The biggest girls who talk the most shit on guys like us are the girls who have a fuckload of simps behind them supporting their lifestyle. They hate the fact that we're waking those guys up.
Yeah.
You call it waking up, but I think it's just such a sad generation, bro. It's like what you said. Oh, you be yourself. That's actually how I feel. Surely, I'm sure you guys feel like that. Just like you should be able to be yourself, and the guys should be able to be themselves too.
With you and me,
instead of everything being so premeditated.
You could be the worst version of yourself, and guys still will smash.
Yeah, but
that's so true.
Delia,
I really agree with you. I'm at my worst. Take me, don't leave me.
You and I have been friends for 10 years. I can be myself with you, but we're not dating. That's the difference.
Yeah,
but in order for me to get a girl, I have a burden of performance that I have to.
I
have to be my best for you.
I've dated some amazing guys. But one thing they've always said is I can be myself around you. And actually, the reason I do that is because I want to be able to be myself.
Game. That is game.
No.
Really
Because I can be myself. That's what I want. If you can't let me be myself around you, then you can go. Like, you're meant to compliment my life, not give me drama or stress.
Exactly.
And I don't know if that is the masculine energy in me, or if it is just because I'm a certain age and I've had a lot of drama. I'm like, come on. Sometimes you want a man to be a man sometimes. I don't care if you want to cry, baby. I don't care if you want to go bang whoever.
Cordelia.
Yes, my sexy long-haired seal.
I have a experiment for you.
Let's do it.
What I would like you to do is when you go home and you go to your OnlyFans, I would like you to say how many more subscriptions you have after this show.
I'm not
going to lie.
I was cyber hacked recently, 7 months ago. So I have not had
How
OnlyFans
dreadful
for a long
for
time.
you.
No, it is. 4 businesses, 50. Like, I had to remake email addresses over the time. And actually, it's one thing I wanted to mention on
Bloody
the show.
hell.
Stop it. Just stop it. Stop flirting with me, you long-haired freaker.
You do the American accent, I'll do the English
Okay,
accent.
baby, let's swap. Let's swap.
like
Have some tea for me. Okay, give me the tea. Spill the tea.
Silly butt.
But honestly, this is what I wanted to talk about, is cyber hacking as well. Like, people don't understand how serious this is and how serious it's becoming. People are learning for $10 online. So people that you call simps aren't actually simps at all. They're nerds. I'm a nerd. I love nerds. Yeah, I love nerds. But they're learning for $10 how to hack the girls now, right? So you're getting everything done. Your bank accounts, your businesses, your Instagrams, like you name it, they hack it because they literally want to be like so close to you. And they're like,
incredible.
If they can't have you, no one can have you. And they're learning for $10 online, bro. $10.
I hate to say I'm going to agree with this because
this is so true.
Because here's like, remember we've had
dangerous.
this conversation before where we talk about how like we have this Lost Boys generation that they don't have any purpose.
Oh.
They have no motivation. They just sit at home and jerk off and eat pizza and smoke weed and play video games and everything like that, right? But I disagree. I think Generation Z boys or men
so smart.
Smart, but definitely motivated. They are absolutely obsessively, compulsively motivated to fuck with you.
Yeah.
To find some way to find your picture and just
make
say
money from you.
And the most minute fucking detail to give you the most shit that they possibly can, because once they hate you, you've given them a purpose.
If you guys could spend all that time and energy that you use to lie about me to actually build a business, you guys would all be millionaires.
Amen to that, honey.
And speaking of which,
let's get us out of here.
So true.
All right. Oh, beautiful. Final thoughts. What do you think, Logan?
Bro, this shit was awesome listening to this stuff. Girls say some very interesting things. So it's good just to listen and see what they say.
You know, we both men and women, we have our evolutionary adaptations that we have, and sometimes they're not quite in accordance with reality, but they're adaptations that we have to like survive. That's the reason why we have them.
Yeah.
And when you recognize that, then it takes the hate out of it. Like, I understand that a woman is going to pick the best that she can because she wants the best for her children. When I'm married and I have kids, the fact that my wife wanted the best for her children, it seemed like it was selfish when I was picking her, but now it seems fucking awesome that she's protecting my children. So it's a feature, not a bug.
And that's
we need to look at it from that standpoint.
That's I don't.
son.
See, I like what you said because I think one of the things is the misconceptions of the red pill is that people think that the red pill, they think that the red pill exists so men will hate women. It's completely opposite.
That's what they
exists. So men will not hate women for what they can never be to them.
Yeah, I mean, when you understand girls, you'll just understand, they might say some dumb shit, but their actions tell the truth. That's just reality. They say one thing, but they'll do another. Women vote with their feet. So when you understand women, you understand
I think women vote with their vagina, but yes, I agree with you.
Men vote with their penises.
Women vote with their vagina.
Like
a
a
woman will be like,
puzzle.
I can't believe how fucking toxic you are. You talked to that other girl, and I saw that girl that you followed, and then they have sex with you. Women vote with their vagina. Amanda, what do you think?
About
The whole show.
Everything. I think it's great. I think that we need to have more conversations like this when the men and the women get together and they just share
over a tequila
their thoughts, and we openly listen to other.
Remember before the show, you asked me, "What is this red pill stuff?" Do you have a better idea?
I have a better idea. It's still a little unclear, but
you're getting there.
Well,
I'm getting there.
We'd love to have you come back.
Make progress. I'd love to.
We have a purple pill instead.
There is a Purple Pill podcast. It's Sergio Solis has Purple Pill. Okay, what do you think about the show so far?
No, it's fun. Let's do another hour. By the way, I don't actually drink, so this for me has been really fun. Thanks for my tequila, honey. No, I actually had so much fun. It's good to get, how to explain it, how to talk about these topics together as one and understand the different opinions. And yeah. Your turn, Zoe. Talk about your sexy stripper boyfriend.
I'm not going to do that.
Hey, Bo.
That guy's gotten enough attention this show.
Hey, Bo.
All we talk about is my stripper boyfriend.
Hey, Bo.
The camera's on me. That's all you're hearing is stripper boyfriend. No, I love coming here. I keep coming back, mostly for the beautiful women that I get to be friends with at the end of the show. And yeah.
That's awesome. Create content, gay sex.
Yes.
It's awesome. Create content. That's unbelievable.
All right,
I think what we learned, I think the most important thing we learned is that men will say anything to fuck you guys. I think
that is so true.
They will literally lie and say anything, and then you guys come and tell us that men are different when you don't realize they're just lying so that they can have sex with you. That's all they're doing.
Yeah,
so I'm glad we cleared that up. That's what we did for the last couple hours. Okay.
We love you guys.
Beautiful. Awesome. Anything else?
That's it. We won't be here next week, but we will be on the 6th of June.
That's
so
correct.
That's our next show for Access Vegas.
For sure.
And where are we going to be? Oh, we're going to be on the 27th. Where are we at? We're at Babes in Toyland?
No, the 13th is Babes in Twilight.
But what are we doing the 27th?
I don't know.
Oh, it's is it the bikini contest?
No, the 9th is the bikini competition. We'll figure it out. I don't know.
Come on, guys. Stop name dropping.
We have too many things. By the way, Delia and I met at a bikini competition exactly 10 years ago. That's actually... She's competing at the Rehab Bikini Invitational.
And there was a picture of me like this. I was so drunk.
When is Wet Republic?
Viral.
We don't know yet. Wet Republic is... They
in
contacted
taxi.
me and they told me that they're not going to do a series. They're going to do a series of one-offs. But when they get back to me, then I will let you know. And then I will have Amanda be one of the judges. That's what we're
Yes, Amanda, you sexy bitch.
And I'm excited to see Amanda objectify women. That's what I'm looking forward to.
We will see you guys in 2 weeks on June 6th.
All right, take care, guys.
Bye.
Make sure you stretch before you respect women.
Maybe think